What is going on, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are.
All of the greetings, but regardless of what time it is where you are, it's football Sunday.
About 3 hours out.
Big week for a lot of people. Playoff berths at stake, bye weeks at stake. Some leagues, hopefully not a lot, but some leagues do in fact start playoffs today, which could be a setting holdover from last year. So obviously, that should be looked at in the offseason. There should never be a playoff game when there are bye weeks still to get through. But
there are
regardless,
people that are playing against teams that don't have Jonathan Taylor this week. And
that's
unfair.
like
that's ridiculously unfair. He's been the RB1 for the entire year. Since
the
RB1.
Right. So obviously something that needs to be addressed. That's if you play playoffs this week. But that's a conversation for another day, because regardless of how you feel about it, you have a game to go win. So we are here to help, hopefully. For anybody,
Johnny Cause, what's going on? Brett McCoy, what's
anybody
going on?
that could use it. Yeah, what's going on, guys? For anybody that could use any last second or last minute help, that's what we're here for, because there's a lot at stake. More than probably most weeks this week.
And Johnny Cause, could you let us know what in the title should be fixed? So that
fix the title.
We both took a look, and we thought it was all right, but if we
what
missed
did we get wrong,
definitely let us know. And Brett McCoy representing California, what's going on, bro?
There you go. I'm
How far away is Ventura from where you're at, bro?
I forget. I'm not like I always forget how I get it's in I'm on the other side of the city. I live in East Hollywood, so on the other side of the city. So it takes about 2 hours to get there.
Yo, Sawyer Habs, what's going on? In one league, I'm considering if I should start Jeff Wilson or Brandon Ayuk PPR, and in another, I'm wondering, should I start Odell or Jeff Wilson PPR?
So I would probably play Ayuk, even though Debo's playing, or Debo is expected to be active. Last week, Kittle was the big beneficiary of Debo being out, not Brandon Ayuk. So I think Ayuk is still safe to fire up. Jeff Wilson is a speculative RB2, but we saw him get a starter's opportunity earlier this year, and nothing really happened. He missed an opportunity for catching a touchdown. That was on Jimmy G. But he didn't do that much else outside of that play in addition. So Wilson might be okay, but I think I lean Ayuk. And as far as him versus Odell, that's a little closer. I think Ayuk is a little bit easier to definitively say go with Ayuk. Odell versus Jeff Wilson is a little bit closer.
It's tough for me to figure out what to do with Jeff Wilson this week, because technically he could be a high-end RB2. And then there's if we're overestimating the work that JaMycal Hasty is going to take away from Jeff Wilson, Jeff Wilson could be a high-end RB2. He could find himself in low-end RB1 territory. He could. But he could also completely split work with JaMycal Hasty and not find the end zone and find himself in, 8-point territory. So it's tough. And in PPR, you're right. Brandon Ayuk just has the higher floor. And I think their ceiling is about the same. So I would go Brandon Ayuk as well.
I think I'm talking myself out of Jeff Wilson, to be honest. I mean, he should be a safe RB2. Should be is the key there. I think I slightly lean him over Odell in a tough matchup, but it's close. It's really close.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that's preferential. If you expect Odell to score another touchdown this week.
Right. I mean, he looks better in the Rams
against
offense.
a team that might force the Rams to throw more. It's preferential to me there. Sorry, I know that doesn't help you. I guess I would start the wide receiver in PPR.
That's fair. I'm not you're not going to get a huge argument from me.
Yeah, I guess I'm betting on another touchdown for him because I feel like the game script is gonna force it in that direction, especially if they don't play Chase Edmonds again. But yo, Austin Bonner, thank you so much for the super.
Yeah, Austin,
Let's
appreciate
check out,
that.
You have a twofold
Twofold.
question. All right.
Yeah, let's see.
In a guillotine league.
In a guillotine league, that's pretty cool. So he's the final 5. So wait, today 14, 15, 16. Does it go all 18 weeks then? Regardless, I see
don't know.
him.
Yeah, I've never been in a guillotine league, so I don't know exactly how they work week to week, coming down to the playoffs. But you have a lot of options at quarterback, and you have Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert. Who do you recommend?
Probably Lamar with Herbert being down Keenan Allen. I think I would go Lamar. Like, Herbert's down his top option.
Yeah, I would too.
I think I would go Lamar. He had a bad game against the Browns a couple of weeks ago, facing that same opponent today. So obviously I can understand having a little bit of pause there, but Lamar's floor is incredibly safe because of his rushing upside. And he's not down any of his weapons. I mean, the backfield isn't, lost that in the offseason. Herbert has had Allen all season, doesn't have him today. That's a big loss. That's a big loss for the Chargers passing game. So I would say Lamar.
Yep.
Lamar because of his incredibly safe floor.
And high ceiling.
Right.
And
He's
high ceiling.
right. Safe floor with a high ceiling. Herbert has a less safe floor. He has a he has a solid ceiling, but I gotta think it's capped a little bit.
40 points too, but this week he's not gonna get there. This isn't gonna be one of those weeks.
Yeah,
he has. So is Lamar.
Yeah, I mean they're both capable.
Yes,
but I would say Herbert has.
As far as the ceiling, that's what I was.
I would say Herbert has more downside today in a game that the Chargers might control early against a bad Giants team. I would play Lamar. And then pick one between Metcalf,
Elliott, or Javonte Williams.
Is that Javonte Williams? I mean, Elliott's going to get all the work, but I think he's more banged up, and Melvin Gordon is coming into this game questionable, so I'm going to call my shot and say Javonte. I know Melvin Gordon is back, but Javonte against the Lions at home, I mean, the breakout is happening before our very eyes. I am a believer in Javonte's talent. He is healthier than Zeke right now. That's a big factor right now. Yes, Zeke should get more work without Tony Pollard, but how much more work can he really absorb, looking like he's running in mud? I think a couple other guys might mix in a little bit today. Not that I don't think Zeke can do well, but I feel like Javonte's got us is safer and better at this point. At home against the Lions with like Melvin Gordon might return to the lineup, but he's questionable to do so. I think he only practiced once this week. I'm calling my shot. I'm going Javonte over Ezekiel Elliott. Metcalf's. I'm on these 3 options. If I only have to pick one, Metcalf's not in the conversation.
And the Detroit Lions are giving up 24.9 fantasy points to opposing running backs. So you gotta go there. You gotta go.
Washington's not a bad matchup either, and I know it's Ezekiel Elliott we're talking about, but
no, but that's 19.6. There's
it's almost a touchdown difference.
Over a 12 to 13 games sample share. So
Javonte.
Yeah, that's crazy. But Javonte, yeah.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yup. But thanks again for the super, Austin. Hopefully that helps. I would go Lamar at quarterback, and I would go Javonte over Zeke and Metcalf. I know it sounds wild, but I don't even have like a reservation with that suggestion.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we're there. But thank you very much for the super. If you have any more questions, let us know for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Purple Marcus, I'm ranked number 5. Do you think I have a shot at going to the last round of the playoffs? I just added Cordarrelle Patterson, and he's looking better. You added Cordarrelle Patterson?
Added Patterson. He was available at this point? Wow.
Maybe he doesn't have a trade deadline.
Oh.
Something like that.
Maybe.
But, hey, if you just added Cordarrelle Patterson, you definitely have a chance.
I mean, if you make the playoffs.
If you're number 5 right now and you just add Cordarrelle Patterson, you've been in the hunt. You're probably above 500. And you just added
if you make the dance,
running
all you gotta do is
one,
make the
depending
dance.
on your depending on what system you're getting it from. Yahoo, Sleeper, ESPN, whatever. But yeah, you got a chance.
If you make the playoffs, all you need to do is make the dance. The rest of it, after that, you worry about that next week. But if you make it, I mean, you have a shot. Yeah, like everything else, like records and rosters for 1 week at a time, that all gets thrown out the window as far as expectations. Like if you make it, you got a shot. And Brett, you're a little further north. I think it's north, like northwest. A little further out than I thought, but yeah, I've been here for like 3-4 years.
I don't know why Debo is active either. I really don't.
Oh yeah, I don't
know
know.
Why Debo is active. I mean, it's the same injury he was dealing with last year. It doesn't make sense to play with that. It just doesn't make sense to play with that.
Off the screen a little bit. Trying to fix myself.
There you go.
But anyway.
K Oxide, what's going on? Or CA Oxide? Bench Saquon, Sony, or Javonte?
Wow.
Are you benching Saquon there because you love Javonte so much?
Well, I mean, Sony as the RB1. I know it's not a good matchup. I think I am benching Saquon. I think I am benching Saquon.
Yeah, this is another one where it's just like, wow.
I think I am. I mean, it's a tough matchup by the numbers, but it's a better offense.
I don't disagree with you. It's just like, wow. We're really saying Sony Michel and Javonte Williams
over Saquon Barkley
in a game where we absolutely need to win. Over Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott.
Yup.
That's wild.
Yup.
That's wild. Okay. Yeah.
I think
there you go, man. There you go.
I think that's what I would do, though. Sony's in the best offense of these three. So despite the bad matchup, I feel okay about him as a low end RB1. I'm hitting, I'm firing Javonte up at home against the Lions with a banged up Melvin Gordon. Saquon's the odd man out. It's a bad offense with a backup quarterback. It's a great matchup by the numbers for Saquon. Saquon might have the best matchup by the numbers, but yeah, he does. But he feels like the riskiest. If you want to play the matchups, Saquon and Javonte. But if you want to play, if you want to play the guys who are in better situations than Sony and Javonte.
Who do you have in your flex where you are benching one of these guys? Because you're starting 2 running backs. Right. And then you most likely have a flex. Who's in that flex that you're starting, that you're benching one of these guys? That's the question I come away with before I say anything definitively, because it's super hard to sit Saquon. It is. Especially, backup quarterback, so they're going to feed the running back. And he looks to have 3 games back under him, and he's getting back to himself. Points have increased every week since he's been back, so I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the performances have been better. It's just...
Yeah, let us know who's in your flex.
He feels like the riskiest option of these 3, despite the fact that he's got the best matchup.
Nifty Maine, what's going on? Hubbard,
what's up, Nifty?
Hilliard, Gallup, or MVS have PPR?
Chuba should get starters work. Hilliard might get starters work. He's in the best matchup. Gallup, Gallup is probably the safest player here, and I would venture to argue that MVS has the most upside, because all it takes for him is a big play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Najee already played for you.
Got it.
K-Oxide. All right. Yeah.
And
so
it's full
yeah.
PPR. I would say the safe play, Nifty Main, the safe play is Chuba.
I would say Najee had a boom week for you. So do you like so you can kind of if Najee already played for you.
Are we talking about the Saquon decision right now?
Yeah, I went back to that.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were finishing up Nifty. I'm going to just real quickly for Nifty Main. Chuba is the safe play. If you feel like you need some upside, I would go Valdez Scantling without Randall Cobb. MVS has like 19 targets the 2 weeks prior to the bye week. So Hubbard is safe if you feel like you can play it safe. If you think you might need some upside, MVS. And now we can go back to CA Oxide. If Najee already played,
I would go 24 fantasy points. So you got a great week from the person that you started. So go
Sony and Javonte.
So yeah, go Sony and Javonte.
Don't mess around with Saquon's downside. His ceiling maybe is the highest of these three, but he's the riskiest. I would go Sony and Javonte.
Yeah, you already hit the ceiling. You can afford to.
You can play it safe.
Play it safe here. Yeah, but you're technically still playing for upside too with both of those guys. But yeah, I didn't mean to jump off of your question, Nifty Main.
I think Chuba is the safe play. I think MVS is the upside play.
I would agree. Actually, no, I would say Gallup is the safe play. MVS is the boom play.
I think Chuba.
I don't love Chuba this week.
I know.
I know how running backs do in Cam Newton offenses.
I know that
they're not
element.
Going to get any touchdowns, which means they're not really going to get above that 10 to 12 point ceiling ever. And they have a floor of
I wouldn't say ever
6 to 8. Well, if they're never getting touchdowns, if they get 100 yards on the ground, that's 10 points.
I mean,
so that's
Cam's
a good game
for
him, but 10 points.
Cam's not vulturing quite literally every score. But I understand
last
your
year
point.
For the Patriots, he took about half of them.
So I think to that point, especially with like a Cam on the downward trend or on a downward trend, I feel like Chuba's okay as a floor play. But I
go Gallup as a floor play. We disagree there, but we both agree MVS ceiling.
MVS is the ceiling play.
Yeah. Logan Hampton, Packers defense or Chicago versus Chicago or Panthers defense versus ATL.
Let's see. I probably the Packers. The Bear, like Justin Fields is making his first start back after missing a couple weeks due to the rib injury. On the road in Lambeau, the Packers with Aaron Rodgers routinely beat up on the Bears. Which means they, if you expect that to happen again in Lambeau with Aaron Rodgers, Packers should be playing with a lead, creates opportunities for their defense. I'm not as confident saying that about the Panthers against Atlanta, even though the Panthers also have a really good defense. I think the situation, this specific situation favors the Packers this week. I would play Green Bay instead of Carolina.
Yeah, I would too. And
at
then
quarterback,
Justin Herbert or Taysom Hill at quarterback.
Hill. I think Hill has more up. Justin Herbert is excellent, but he's a bit of a fade for me this week without Keenan Allen. Taysom Hill obviously has even fewer weapons to work with than Herbert does without Allen, but Hill's rushing floor is way higher. And he gets Alvin Kamara back for whatever that's worth. So if they're able to connect on a couple of dump offs, I think Hill has much more upside, even with the mallet finger. This has been the year
I want
of
to
the
compare
mallet.
numbers to defense against. Give me a sec.
And Hill's playing the Jets. Like the Jets are the Jet. There's nothing scary about the Jets defense. Herbert gets the Giants. There's, you're not losing too much there. But Taysom Hill's rushing floor is the pick for me. If it were anybody else other than Herbert, I would have more pause. But Herbert without Keenan Allen today, I have some concerns.
They both give up 18.7 on average, or around 18.5 on average.
And remember, the Jets give up a lot of production to running backs. Taysom Hill is essentially a running back playing quarterback. He's a Swiss Army knife playing quarterback, but to that point, he can run. Like, I think the matchup
offense should be a little bit better.
Taysom.
But good luck, bro.
Yeah, let's get this win.
Denzel Barrett, what's going on? RSJ,
Denzel, what's going on?
Hooper, or Ingram.
First of all, fly Eagles fly. You already know we're resting this week. Shut up.
My question would be: is it a short term or a long term?
I think regardless, I would just go. Yeah. I would go Ricky Seals-Jones. I would pick up Ricky Seals-Jones. Like Hooper might come through. He's the only tight end. I don't trust Baker Mayfield right now. And he's at home. So obviously that helps. But he has struggled mightily. Like Hooper could deliver. He's very touchdown dependent.
If there was
and this
a
would
week
be a game.
for Hooper, it would be this week. But Ricky Seals-Jones.
But I like Ricky Seals-Jones.
He's a focal point of that offense in Washington.
Or we expect him to be, just because the tight end position has been.
But when he started, he was one.
He's been the tight end position has been a focal point for Washington, and they're just playing better right now. Like I feel right than the Browns, they have to be. I know the Browns were on bye this past week, but going in, they limped into the bye week. Washington's just playing better right now. Give me that momentum. Ricky Seals-Jones.
Yeah, Ricky Seals-Jones. That's what I'm going with too.
Mm-hmm.
Nick Hobie, what's going on? Pick one: Jalen Guyton, Joshua Palmer, or Emmanuel Sanders full PPR.
Ooh.
I guess
Guyton.
I would go.
I mean, you've been a big.
I would go Jalen Guyton.
Yeah, I think I would too. I don't know that I feel like we're chasing points a little bit from last week. I know he caught the touchdown.
No, Justin Herbert's going to take a few more deep shots this game because I believe he's going to need to.
To your point of yesterday, like there's 10 targets a game that Keenan Allen is leaving behind today. So somebody's got to pick up the slack.
And it's been Jalen Guyton over Joshua
Palmer
to this point.
Yeah.
So I guess Jalen Guyton.
Yeah, I mean Emmanuel Sanders
has faded a lot. The team is going more to Gabe Davis like they did towards the end of last season.
Yeah, Davis has emerged a little bit recently.
Dawson Knox is back, so they've been getting
Diggs is back to getting his number one target share.
So they have 3 running backs out there. So, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if one of those 3, and probably of the 3, not Singletary, one of either Zach Moss or Matt Breida might be deactivated today. I think they carried 3 because of the specific conditions.
Well, if they go Matt Breida, they're liable to use backs in the pass game a little bit more.
Moss can catch it a little bit. The point is, I'm just like they're going elsewhere other than Sanders. To me, he's off the radar. I would go Guyton. It's not a Hail Mary, but it's a bit of a Hail Mary. But he's got upside for sure to make a big play.
Carlos Miller. I would go Hasty there. I would go Hasty
or Seals-Jones. Damn, yeah, I would go Jermichael Hasty. Give me the running back.
Unless you're in some sort of tight end premium league.
Sure.
That's the only case in which I would go Ricky Seals-Jones. But I would go Jermichael Hasty there. He's got I believe he's got the most upside, and both Nick and I believe that Jermichael Hasty should be at least a high-end RB3 this week.
Mm-hmm.
So they carry about the same floor. If anything were to happen to Jeff Wilson, who isn't the most injury-resistant back in the world, Jermichael Hasty could be the only back out there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going Jermichael Hasty.
I'm good with that. I think the 49ers could play with a lead or play with a deficit.
Decoy Bo, I like that.
Could be.
Decoy Bo Samuel.
Could
I
be.
like that. That's funny.
We'll know for sure if that's real this once, if we see him line up in the backfield. If we see him line up in the backfield, it's going to be like, oh, they're going to use him today type of deal. And then we're just hoping he's okay. But yeah, could be.
What's going
but
on,
I agree
Laura
on
and
Hasty
Jim?
over Seal Jones. Laura and the Coopermans, what's going on?
Need two in a PPR league. Sutton,
all right, let's do
Westbrook, Akine, A-Rob, or Chenault.
Sutton.
Westbrook, Akine.
I'm gonna say it's put up or shut. It's a put up or shut up day for Cortland Sutton at home against
Westbrook,
the Lions.
Akine, or Sutton. I would go. Yeah,
I
and
would say
I'm not confident about either. I would say, do you have anybody on your waiver wire who you can pick up for?
If Westbrook Akine is in this conversation, I'm gonna guess like there's not too much else. But yeah, like maybe did Jamison Crowder get picked up yet or whatever?
But I mean, I don't even know if Chenault is rosterable right now. So like, if there's
No,
anybody
he's
on
not.
the wire, you could pick them up for him.
He's not.
Or drop him for them. And
I would
Allen
say
Robinson, same. I really think it's just name, and Sutton's almost there too. He's almost there.
Yeah,
this is the last week. I'm willing to
yeah.
ride with Sutton, but Allen Robinson, I think he's droppable at this point, and I think he's just a name that it looks good on your bench. So let us know if there's anybody on the wire.
Is there anybody on the wire? Like, any chance Jamison Crowder is still out there? If not, if it's bare bones, I would say Sutton and Westbrook Akine. Sutton at home against the Lions, Westbrook Akine without A.J. Brown.
And Brett, thank you very much. Much
Brett,
appreciated.
thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Non-PPR need 22 to make the playoffs. Scary Terry, wide receiver 2. Devonta Freeman, flex. Debo, bench.
Yes, I think
that's the safe play.
I think that's your play. I think that makes sense.
Yep.
Terry,
I don't want to play
around.
I don't want to play around with Debo today, because that team shouldn't be playing around with Debo today.
So enticing.
I know.
He's so enticing, but
the options that you're swerving to are both.
They're fine.
They're confident.
Fine. Yeah, Terry's got wide receiver 1 upside. I know it hasn't happened like 2 or 3 of the past 4 weeks, or whatever it is, but he's still a guy that you can safely, confidently throw in there any given week, given his expected target share. And in this game against Dallas, this is a big game. This is a huge game for both teams. Washington can put pressure on Dallas for the division today. They need their best player, or one of them, in Terry. And Freeman's officially a safe RB2 until further notice. So, yeah, the options that you're pivoting to off of Debo are safe enough that you can feel okay. Moving away from Debo in in a matchup where you already understand, given the question, we can't feel too confident about.
Yeah, I like that. All right, we're thank you, Brett, for the super.
And thanks, Brett. Hopefully that helps. Let's see.
Yo.
Pedro.
Thank you very much, Pedro.
No, Pedro. Yeah, appreciate it. Gotta give John a shout out for that.
Abdullah, or Austin Walter.
Hasty. Of these options, let's go Hasty. Feels like he has a chance to mix in a little bit more today for the 49ers, especially if they're playing from behind, which I think they will. So Hasty, pass catching upside. We haven't seen Amir Abdullah for a while, so jury's out. And Austin Walter it's a bad matchup, and I don't know. He's a tier below Hasty at this point, so I'll go Hasty.
Yep. We've seen Hasty do it. We haven't seen either of these other backs do it, and Amir Abdullah hasn't done it.
It's been a while
and he's been in the league since I believe like 2014 or something like that. 2013.
It's been a while.
Yeah. Maybe even earlier. I'm really not sure.
Yeah. Austin's got another question. What defenses and kickers do I like this week? So you have the Chargers. That's fine. There's no reason to pivot off the Chargers. They're playing the Giants with a backup quarterback. That is a target these days. Attacking the Giants' offense.
No, I like the Chargers this week.
Is a good move.
Yep.
I like the Packers. If not that I would pivot off the Chargers. I like the Packers. I like the Titans. Those are some defenses I like. And then again with Prater, there's no reason to move off him. He's been solid. In a matchup where points should be scored at home.
Underrated kicker.
Big leg. I think he had a decent game last week despite some awful weather in Chicago. So you're good. You're good where you're at. Yeah, you're good where you're at. I would just hold. There's no reason to pivot off of either option.
Thanks for the question though again. Thanks for the super chat again, bro.
Absolutely.
Purple Marcus, should I play DeAndre Hopkins or Devontae Adams or Cooper Kupp?
Oh, what the hell, man?
That's a decision you got to make. Damn. I guess I would play Devontae Adams. I mean, can you?
That's ridiculous. I mean, not to be rude, but is this like a 6-man league? Like that's.
Is it pick one? Because that's wild. But this year you got to go Cooper Kupp if you got to play one, and if you're gonna play two, it's got to be Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams.
It's Cooper Kupp. And then you ask about Jonathan Taylor, who's on bye week, and Christian McCaffrey, who is gone for the year. So you're not. I don't know what's going on with these questions here. Neither are playable. And should you start Mahomes or Burrow? Just okay. Start Mahomes. Sorry. Purple Marcus. The Jonathan Taylor and Christian McCaffrey are not options this week. But play Mahomes over Burrow. Labyrinth. Let's see. Made a bold move in the must-win game.
We missed Tay Thompson.
Oh, sorry,
Tay.
My bad.
Or Zeke.
My bad.
In that situation, I'm going Zeke.
Zeke over Jeff Wilson.
Yep.
Zeke over Jeff Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah. Play Zeke. Full workload, or should get more of a full workload with Tony Pollard likely to miss. Now we can get to Labyrinth. Starting Big Ben over Taysom Hill. There you go. Smart. So far, so good. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine playing MVS today, and I'm fine playing Foreman today. I think they're both solid rolls of the dice. I think they're solid flex options. I think MVS has got some upside tonight against the Bears without Randall Cobb. Who, by the way, is like top 5 in the league in red zone targets. Randall Cobb, so whatever that's worth. And Foreman, I like the Titans running backs to come through today. I like Hilliard and I like Foreman. So if you have either one, you're good.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I'd feel comfy with that if that was my lineup. And good job starting Taysom Hill over Big Ben. Tony Kamaj, what's going on?
What's up, Tony?
Do you like J-Rob or Mooney in the flex half PPR?
Probably.
I think I'm going Mooney.
Probably Mooney.
I think I'm going Mooney. There are some workload concerns that they should have figured out for James Robinson, but we can't with Urban Meyer. We really don't know, and that offense is just not very competent.
Mm-hmm.
Mooney is the wide receiver 11 over the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, not that the Bears feel competent as an offense either, but Mooney's been a wide receiver 1.
And he's had wide receiver 1 weeks with Justin Fields. It hasn't just been with...
it hasn't just been with Andy Dalton, right?
Right.
Robinson might be a safe floor play, but Mooney's got a perfectly safe floor as well. With maybe a little bit more upside in the event that there's like garbage time.
Yeah, floor play J-Rob, ceiling play Mooney, but I think they do have a comparable floor.
Robinson is a safe floor play if you think you can play it safe, but if you want to go for a little bit more upside, I say Mooney.
Yeah. Andrew JF.
What's going on, Andrew?
What's going on?
Yes, sir. This is an important day. This is an important day for a lot of people. So. We're here to hopefully help figure out some lineup decisions and get everybody to the playoffs.
Yes, sir. If you got any questions for us, let us know, bro.
Yep.
Brady, what's going on? Renfro,
Brady?
Michelle, Metcalf, Cooper, or CEH have PPR?
You're only starting one?
Michelle?
Yeah, Sony. I mean, RB1 workload. Had an RB1 week last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
No competition for work. That's wild. Sony Michelle.
You got a great bunch of options to choose from there.
But Sony Michelle of those.
Sony.
Yep.
Fortune, what's going on? What's going on, bro?
What's up, Fortune?
Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson, and then pick 2: Donta Foreman, Igwe Buike, and Van Jefferson.
Foreman and Van Jefferson.
Yes.
Foreman and Van Jefferson. Godwin Igwebuike he's mixed in a little bit on offense, but we haven't seen him. We haven't truly seen him
and
yet.
That offense, I mean,
like the
no
Lions
Hawkinson. I'm staying away.
Yeah, no Hawkinson, no Swift, no Jamal Williams. It's a hot mess.
He should be a mid to high end RB3, I think. Based on game script, I think they're going to need to use him in the pass game a little bit.
Sure, but
Donta Foreman got to over 100 yards last week, even with Dontrell Hilliard, doing his thing.
Yeah, Foreman and Van Jefferson.
Yeah, and Van Jefferson's over the past 2 weeks hit his ceiling, so I like him to continue that. And then Joe Burrow or Russell Wilson. I think I'm going Burrow because Higgins is playing and Mixon is playing, so he has his full squad of.
He's got his full complement of weapons.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Burrow over Russ. It's just the Seahawks are reeling right now, and I mean it's a great matchup. This might be a game where they pop off against Houston just because they can. But yeah, Burrow's got a deeper complement of weapons, especially when you factor in Mixon. Like Mixon over any Seattle running back. You can combine all three of them. Doesn't matter. Burrow. I'll say Burrow.
And Foreman and Jefferson for sure.
Yup.
Yeah. Alex, what's going on? Pick 2 to start in PPR. Kamara, Chubb, Connor. Kamara and Chubb. If you got it. Kamara and Chubb.
Yes. Kamara and Chubb.
There's a chance that Chase plays, which limits Connor's floor in the event that happens. We're not technically predicting that, but there's a chance they're evaluating it up until Monday.
I would. If Edmonds, I would predict that. If Edmonds is activated, that's going to cut into Connor's work.
Yeah.
So Kamara and Chubb. Like, yes, you could say the same thing about Kareem Hunt, but Chubb has a higher floor than James Conner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Nick Hobie, pick 1, MVS, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Traquan Smith, Jalen Guyton, or Joshua Palmer. Pick 1, MVS.
MVS. Best quarterback of this group by far.
Highest
Justin
ceiling
Herbert.
of those guys, highest floor of those guys.
Ceiling play, floor play. Target share has been safe the past couple of weeks. No Randall Cobb, MVS.
Yo, so October, what's going on?
What's going on, dude? What's going on? I get it. It's that kind of day.
Jay Wright.
What's up, Jay Wright?
Who should I start at tight end? Foster Moreau, Austin Hooper, or Ricky Seals-Jones?
Moreau is the.
Moreau
I think Moreau is the for this week.
Yeah.
Ricky Seals-Jones for the rest of the season.
So if you have Hawkinson and you're worried about that hand, Ricky Seals-Jones, because
for anybody that has TJ Hawkinson.
There was a report, I think either last night or just this morning, that DeAndre Swift
is a candidate to go on IR, which would most likely end his season.
But that signals to me that TJ Hawkinson might be in the same situation.
He's in the same conversation.
He's a franchise player there, so.
Yup. The Lions have nothing to play for at this point. They're gonna rest their young ascending players if they can. I think Hawkinson is absolutely a shutdown candidate. So if you have him, Ricky Seals-Jones is a good pivot for the rest of the season.
Yep.
But today, against the Chiefs, who give up good production to tight ends with no Darren Waller,
yep.
I'll say Moreau. I'll say Moreau.
Yep. Me too.
I'll say Moreau.
Labyrinth, what's your guys' favorite fantasy format? Like bench press, waiver type.
Like settings? I definitely like 3 wide receivers. It's a little bit more of a challenge, and it challenges you from a draft perspective.
And more flex spots make it more fun and more competitive.
More flex spots. We do play with kickers and defenses in our OG league, in our league from redraft league from the beginning. We do play with kickers and defenses, but we play dynasty leagues that don't have kickers and defenses. We replaced them with flex spots. That's what I prefer. From a waiver wire perspective, I like Fob. I'm not gonna like linger on this too long, Labyrinth, because of the start sit help. I appreciate the question, but want to make sure we get to people's lineup decisions. Yeah, I mean, 3 wide receivers, like the larger the starting lineup, as far as I'm concerned, the better. Kickers and defenses are whatever. You could go either way on them. I guess I prefer a defense. But I adjust scoring settings to defenses because the NFL game is so catered toward the offense. So I try to adjust defensive scoring to give them opportunities for more scores, like 3 and outs, 4th down stops, a tackle for a loss, like give them additional opportunities for points scored. And then waiver wire, I prefer Bob. I prefer the free agent acquisition budget where you can do blind bidding on players, and you're not beholden to a specific spot like 1 through 10 or 1 through 12 as far as waiver priority any given week.
Yeah, I agree with all that. I'm just riding with what you went. I don't want to linger on it too much either. But my favorite format is just Dynasty, straight up, over redraft or keeper. But I'm gonna just throw that in because I don't want to get into all the settings and stuff. I agree with most of what you said. Brett McCoy, that was your super. Got you.
Yeah, that was the super.
Tyler Lowe, what's going on? Need a lot of help. All my RBs hurt. Pick 2.
Okay.
Chase Edmonds, Ty Johnson, Gunbowale. Oh, don't know.
Is that Igwabuka? Is that Godwin for the Lions? Regardless of these options, I'm gonna say Ty Johnson.
Or Zach Moss. I'm not, because Chase Edmonds might not play.
Chase Edmonds might not play. He
could.
It's
just like a no altogether if it's Ogunbowale, if it's Dare.
If it's Godwin Igwabuke,
then you got you
probably have to ride with him and Ty Johnson.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to pick up like Eno Benjamin in the event that Chase Edmonds can't play. I don't.
And Zach Moss has been.
I don't trust. I mean, will Zach Moss be active today?
He's been inactive.
I mean, he played last week.
Yeah.
He played last week
because it was a weather game.
Week? Right.
Yeah.
And it's a bad matchup anyway. I'm gonna say Ty Johnson, and if that's Igwabuke, I hope I'm saying that correctly. That's who I would go with.
Yeah, but if it's Ogunbowale, I guess out of necessity, I would go Zach Moss. But is there anybody on your wire?
I doubt it.
I guess those are the guys that are available. But no, you
can't
play the game with Chase Edmonds because he might just get you a 0.
Right, he might not be activated, so you can't mess around with that unless you're willing to pick up Eno Benjamin and play him, which I can't advise.
And at TE, Austin Hooper or Foster Moreau, I'm going Foster Moreau, man.
Foster Moreau without Darren Waller.
Yep.
Derek Carr is playing better than Baker Mayfield. And the Raiders are going to have to keep pace against the Chiefs. So they're going to need their pass catchers. Foster Moreau.
Tate Fitzgibbons, what's going on?
What's up, Tate?
Winner go home. I have Aaron Jones going on a 1 RB spot. Monty going in the flex. I'm split between Zeke and Tony Pollard for the other RB spot. It's Zeke because Tony Pollard is probably not going to play this week.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's looking like he's going to miss the game.
He's dealing with the
tore his left plantar fascia in his foot. So he's out this week and is going to be dealing with pain management most likely at best for the rest of the season. So Zeke.
Yeah, I know Zeke is dealing with his own knee injury, but at least he's playing.
He's going to play.
And they talked about him playing more snaps as the end of the season ramps up into the playoffs.
Yep. And
talked about him getting healthier as the season goes on. So. Yeah.
Brett, I'm going to church too. This is a big day. Yeah, we're hoping for the best. We hope everybody's making the playoffs. That's the plan.
Yes, sir. William Risky was popping.
What's up, William?
Scary Terry, James Conner, J-Rob for flex, PPR.
It's got Hill and Diggs, yes. Patterson and David Montgomery, yes.
Scary Terry or James Conner?
I would say Conner. It's a little bit of you're waiting until Monday night to see if Chase Edmonds can play, but we got to I think we got to factor in here a little bit. If they're waiting this long to activate Chase Edmonds, how effective, how much is he going to play even if he is activated?
True. Very, very good point.
You know, like if they're waiting this long, like, is there concerns about like could he? Yeah, is he healthy enough to play? Sure. Is he going to see more than like 10 touches? I would be surprised.
Yeah.
Connor.
Yep.
It's PPR. He caught a touchdown last week, so like he gets that extra boost, or he can do that. He's been an RB1. I at this time of the year, give me a guy who week after week after week has been an RB1.
Yeah, I can go along with that. Good lineup though, regardless. With
Right.
who you got starting.
Yep.
Labyrinth, you think people should be picking up Philip Lindsay?
Yeah, I mean, Salvin Ahmed went on the COVID list this week.
So did Gaskin.
And Gaskin. So there's a chance that Gaskin returns next week. The report I saw is that Gaskin is vaccinated. So
yep.
There should be enough time for Gaskin to get back for week 15. But yeah, Philip Lindsay is a solid desperation play. If you have an end of bench roster spot that is in flux, like, sure.
Yeah, a few weeks
They're
ago.
playing the Jets. It's a
few weeks ago in garbage time. Philip Lindsay played what amounted to he had just as many rush attempts as Myles Gaskin.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not afraid to swerve in that direction.
Nope.
They haven't been since signing him up. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're looking on the wire for somebody for next week, that's not a bad option. Easy money Sicilian, what's going on? Ty Johnson or Devontae Freeman, full PPR? Devontae Freeman.
He's been a safe RB2.
Yeah.
He is a safe RB2 at this point. Ty Johnson is a speculative wide receiver 3. Freeman's the better option.
Yep. GJ, what's going on?
What's up,
Did
GJ?
y'all talk about Keelan Cole Sr. yet? No.
No.
And we would go Valdez Scantling.
Him or Valdez Scantling. I'm going MVS.
If it's not Jamison Crowder, I'm not investing in that Jets offense.
So yeah,
unless I have to, unless I absolutely have to. And Valdez Scantling should be a high-end wide receiver 3 this week. Boom bust.
Yeah, with plenty of upside.
Yep.
I think his role in the offense is safe, especially with Randall Cobb expected to, or with no timetable to return with his injury. Keelan Cole is not bad if you are trying to roster like a flyer at wide receiver, but there's a tier break here. Quarterback situation, big playability. Valdez Scantling is a safer option.
Yep. Logan Hampton, Van Jefferson, or Brandon Ayuk? I think it's Ayuk, but they're close to me.
It is close. Ayuk's.
They're in the same tier for me. It's just I think it's really stupid for them to be putting Debo out there, but I think he might just be a decoy, like decoy Bo.
Decoy Bo Samuel.
Decoy Bo.
Can't take
credit for that.
And Jefferson's been rock solid this year. I'll say Ayuk is a little bit more of a ceiling play, Logan. Like if you need some upside, I would say Ayuk. But if you're looking at your matchup, you're looking at your opponent. If you think you can play it safe, I'll say Van. If you think you can play it safe, Van. If you're looking at your situation and you're like, I need a guy who, maybe has a higher ceiling. Van's got a good ceiling too, because all you need, he's been catching touchdowns. I'll say Van Jefferson is the safer play. Ayuk is a little bit more volatile, but I'll say he's got some more upside. I'll say Ayuk has a bit more upside. Honestly, yeah, it's close. We're splitting hairs.
They're in the same tier.
They're in the same tier.
It's really a preferential thing.
Van is safe. Ayuk is a little bit more upside if you think you need upside.
Yeah, I agree. Nate Lynch, what's popping? Walter or Ty Johnson have PPR. I guess have PPR. Ty Johnson.
Ty. I mean, this is a bad matchup.
I might go Walter. But since it's half PPR.
But it's half. This is a bad matchup by the numbers. New Orleans is good against the run. So Ty has a chance to come through as a pass catcher today as a result.
Yep.
And with Elijah Moore out, he could see he could see 1 to 2 extra targets. Ty Johnson.
Yep. Labyrinth, Big Ben, and Najee came through. Yeah, man.
I streamed Big Ben in a league as well, and for at half, it was like, this looks like the biggest mistake of my week so far. But that's, the second half, the Steelers came to life. They didn't play for the first 40 minutes. Maybe they would have won the game if they did. But
until Chase Claypool started dancing.
Yeah, whatever. He screwed them way before that dance.
Yeah.
He almost fumbled. He had a key missed block on a 3rd and short, and then the taunting penalty. I mean, the dance was also stupid, but they lost that game as a team. Nobody was good in that game for Pittsburgh. But anyway, we got a new sub. David, thanks for subbing.
Yeah, thank you, man.
David, y'all appreciate that.
Should you go Amir Abdullah or Hasty?
Hasty, and you're in a pinch.
Hasty.
First of all, MVS over Jalen Guyton.
Yes. Yes.
Start if your odds are maybe not in every scenario, but if you grabbed Marquez Valdez-Scantling this week off of waivers, fire him up, play him. I think he's going to do fine. Again, 19 targets the past 2 games. Last week was the bye week. 19 targets in 2 games prior to that, and no Randall Cobb. He's got plenty of upside playing with Aaron Rodgers. So give me MVS.
And I'm going Hasty. And
I'm going
MVS.
Hasty as well. Yep. Hasty and MVS. I think Hasty's got a sneaky opportunity today. If San Francisco is trailing in this game, I think Cincinnati plays with a little bit of a lead. I think Hasty mixes in, change of pace, 3rd down back, hurry up offense. Could catch a couple passes. Hasty.
Yep, but thanks for subbing, man.
San Francisco's offense feels a little safer than Carolina's right now.
Yeah. Sotober, Debo, Chase, Sony, pick 2. Chase and Sony. Decoy Bo. We can't.
Yeah, worried about Debo being a decoy today.
Shout out to Brett.
Yeah, shout out to Brett for calling that out. Is it possible? Is it possible we are underestimating Debo today? Yes, he's been a fantastic wide receiver 1 this year, but he hasn't practiced all this week. It feels dicey.
Yeah,
feels dicey.
William Risky, Ricky Seals-Jones or Moreau over Pitts?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
Pitts
and again, I would go if Moreau if you need a guy this week, and Ricky Seals-Jones if you need a guy moving forward. But since you got Pitts, I mean, I still might go Ricky Seals-Jones moving forward because he's been better.
Beautiful matchups. Pitts has since week 7. Pitts has not been usable. It's a bad matchup. The Falcons are reeling. It's a situation where a rookie is the best player. Well, Patterson has been their best player, but Pitts is their best pure pass catcher as a rookie. That's at the tight end position. Like, not having Calvin Ridley, it really hurts. So Pitts is absolutely somebody you can pivot off of. So we like Moreau today. We like Ricky Seals-Jones for the rest of the season.
But I like Ricky Seals-Jones today too. It's just
I like Ricky
Moreau
today,
more.
But yeah, I think Moreau's got a little bit more upside, given the matchup.
Yeah. And Labyrinth, you want to start a dynasty league for the first time? In just a few words, what would be your biggest tip to being due to it? Do a auction dynasty. Don't do a
draft
dynasty.
Do an auction.
It separates the
contenders from the pretenders.
Yes, exactly. And be safe with your money. Don't let people spend up and then pick people off like 30 minutes into that auction draft. And that's how you win a draft moving into your first league or your first year.
Let the auction come to you. Don't
unless
go.
Your intention,
unless
you have some intentions on. I don't know. That would just those would be my suggestions. But Dynasty is a really fun format.
It is fun.
Everybody I know that has gotten involved with it has slowly moved into enjoying that more than the majority of any other formats.
we'll plan to do a show after the season where we can maybe talk about, is it your first time playing Dynasty? Like, come hang out. We can talk about it. We can really go in. We can really go in.
Our off-season content is going to be mostly Dynasty content, or at least 50% Dynasty content related. So.
And yeah, early on in the beginning of the calendar year in 2022, we can absolutely do like a show about like, this is our league, this is how we have it set up.
We might start doing leagues with you guys. We've talked about doing zombie leagues with you guys in the past weeks, past streams. It'd be cool to be doing dynasty leagues with some of you guys too. But again, off-season things. So we'll talk about that at a later date. But hey, Labyrinth, if you wait a little bit, you could start a dynasty league with us. Garth Murray, pick one. Melvin Gordon, Hilliard, or Jermichael Hasty. I'm already playing Javonte. Good job. Hilliard?
I would say Hilliard because Melvin Gordon could be a surprise inactive. And might not be, he's coming into the game questionable. I think he only practiced once this week, which is still a sign that he's on track to play, but he's questionable coming into the game. I would not be surprised if Javonte is, even if Melvin Gordon is healthy, is the lead back today. So Hilliard in a great matchup.
Yep. Ups and Brown, what's going on?
Going on Ups and Brown? Dylan or Montgomery? It's Montgomery. It's Montgomery.
We like Dylan this week a lot, and we like.
I like Dylan in general. Yeah. I like Dylan in general, but with Aaron Jones back,
RB1.
Yeah, he's not the starter. I do like Dylan to deliver, an RB2 performance any given week, but Montgomery has RB1 upside.
He's the highest upside handcuff in the league right now, Dylan. And
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
The Packers are actually pretty good against running backs, but Montgomery is a guy where you just can't worry about the matchup.
Yep.
What do the Bears give up to running backs? They're a better matchup. Still Montgomery. Just wanted to look.
Yep. But Dylan's a great person to be having on your bench.
Yeah, Dylan's absolutely right. Love the fact that love having a guy like that going into the playoffs. But Montgomery to start.
Labyrinth, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate the support.
Bonnie Newman, extremely down bad right now. Oh no.
Well, we're here to help.
Hopefully we can help. PPR need to start 2 of Jamar Jefferson, Godwin, Igwebuike, Josh Palmer, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. PPR,
in full PPR,
Godwin, Igwebuike, and
Amon-Ra. Give me Amon-Ra.
No
TJ
Hawkinson, no DeAndre Swift, no Jamal Williams.
Yeah, Amon-Ra scored last week. He caught the game-winning touchdown.
Play those Lions. Yeah, go for it.
It's wild. And the weather in Denver, the last I checked, let me double check the Denver weather because the forecast in Denver can change like within 5 minutes.
Last night you said it was fine.
It was going to be nice today.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. 50, high of 58 degrees. No wind, no precipitation. So I'm not worried about the passing game from that perspective. Amon-Ra. He's in full PPR. He's been a dart throw, but last week he had a nice game. Their lines are down multiple weapons. Might as well take a shot.
Yep.
Might as well take a shot. And then I'll say Godwin for the same reasons. Jamar Jefferson, it's a bad matchup, and I feel like game script could phase him out. And Palmer has not, Palmer just hasn't been doing. I prefer Guyton over Palmer today. And the tight ends, I prefer Jared Cook and Donald Parham. I think both of those guys mix in today. So
George Tech, Alex Collins, or Igwebuike? Igwebuike. I think it's Iggy.
Yeah?
I'm going Iggy.
Oh, gosh. Breaking news, not that this is something, we kind of already knew this. Cowboys running back Tony Pollard is officially out for today's game against Washington. So Tony Pollard, obviously, get him on your bench, make other plans. If you have Zeke, you can fire him up with the most confidence, unless you've got like Sony Michel or Javonte Williams, who I say play. But Tony Pollard out.
Yep.
Alex Collins or Igwebuike. I guess Collins is healthy, right? Peterson is not.
Yeah, but I mean, they continue to stress that they want to get Penny involved, even though he's ineffective.
Yeah, they always.
I mean, they're signing backs like AP, even though he's not playing. I mean, they're still signing him. They Travis Homer's still out there.
I think Homer's out.
Is he?
I think so. I'm going to say Collins because the matchup is too good to ignore. And I know he's in a gross committee. And Travis Homer's out. And
I can't go. Alex Collins he's not good.
I know he's not, but he's a gross RB2. He's a gross low end.
Week 7,
gross low end RB2.
4.9, and this is half PPR. 4.9 points. Week 8, 4.4 points. Week 10. 5.4 points. He had a bye in week 9. That's why I skipped it.
I think that's it. I think that
11, 3.6 points. 12, 1.2 points. 13, 0 points. I
think Igwebuike could have a similar line.
I think Igwebuike has a higher. If you're shooting for ceiling, Alex Collins has none.
I guess.
Alex Collins has none.
He could fall into the end zone just because the matchup is phenomenal. Davis Mills is starting for the Texans. Like turnovers, short field. Like. It's not necessarily the player; it's the situation. I say Collins.
I'm going Iggy.
I say Collins. I say Collins is a boring, no upside, but somewhat safer play. Igwebuike has a little bit more upside as a pass catching back, but has a similar floor of next to nothing.
Igwebuike has gotten a touchdown in a more recently than Alex Collins. I'll give you that.
But when you're talking about these two players, I don't. That's the stat that I don't care about.
Fair.
I'll go Collins because
split,
of the
George.
situation.
Sorry,
We're split,
man.
but we've given our takes.
Yep.
Hopefully that helps you make a decision.
Easy money Sicilian, Noah Fant or Foster.
Yeah. I mean, I know Fant
hasn't done anything.
Fant's not been having a good season. He's kind of just a name at this point. He's a good long-term player.
Great RAS.
It's a great matchup, or it's a good matchup. But I'll say Foster Moreau. Noah Fant has been quiet this year in general. The Broncos sorely need a quarterback. Foster, yeah, better matchup. Derek Carr's a better quarterback. Foster.
William Risky, it's a cheap lineup. Talk about your lineup above. Okay. 10 team league. Okay. All right. Hey, we're in 10-team leagues too. It happens.
I prefer 12 teams personally, but whatever. 10 teams can still be competitive. I want to get into some
14 and 16-team leagues because I've never played in any. So maybe that's something that we can play around with.
I know there are some like grandfather dynasty leagues where it's 32 teams like the NFL.
That's awesome.
That's wild.
Let's do that. Yo, yes.
Yeah, who wants to join a 32-team dynasty league?
Imagine that auction draft, yo.
But you drafted around Gibson, so he's a locked and loaded RB1 today and right now.
Yep.
John reminded me last night I had him as a top 10 running back coming into the season, which I forgot about and was feeling bad about through like the first 10 weeks of the season. But it's coming to life.
Through the first 8, but over the past 5 weeks, he's been great. He's been he's been the RB1 that we all thought he was coming into the season over the past 5 weeks.
Yes, sir. I'm a big fan of it. Don't know. Whatever. J.D. McKissick is a better player than I gave him credit for, but Antonio Gibson.
I think it also has to do with that. Heineke's a better quarterback than we all gave him credit for, and he is boosting that offense a little bit.
Yeah, he's a gamer. Heineke is a gamer for sure. You got to give him a ton of credit for where Washington is right now compared to where they were.
Theo, if you're still here, hey, don't worry about it, bro.
What's up, Theo? It's all good. Yep. We intended to send an email.
We'll just say it right now. Hit us if you're available anytime within the next 2 weeks. Let us know in the lull between the holidays, and we'll get.
We got some time. We got some time, so let us know.
Edward Reyes, Hilliard.
What's up, Edward?
I think I'm going Hilliard.
Yeah, I think both are fine today. I think both are fine. Hilliard flashed a little bit of big playability in the last we saw in Week 12 against the Patriots. Tough matchup, by the way. I'll say Hilliard has a little bit more upside, but I think both are fine. Let me put it this way. If you had like Dalvin Cook and Najee Harris pop off, and this is your flex question, I would honestly venture to argue that Foreman might be a little bit safer, but Hilliard's got more upside. I think they both are viable today. That's my take.
Yep. Agreed. Alex, Cowboys defense or Saints defense?
New Orleans against the Jets.
I believe so too.
New Orleans against the Jets. Yeah, the Jets are a target. The New York teams, the Giants and the Jets, their offenses are targets.
No
Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman.
Yep. No Corey Davis.
Corey Davis. Yep.
That like Zach Wilson is down to bare bones as far as his options. The Saints are a good defense. New Orleans.
And they kind of need to get it together now too. This might be a get right game for them.
Could be.
Yep.
Could be.
Robert Williams, what's going on? Higbee or Ricky Seals-Jones? I think I'm going Ricky Seals-Jones just because of the consolidated target share. Higbee hasn't been incredible over the last, for the season. He hasn't been incredible.
Right.
So I think I'm going Ricky Seals-Jones because I'm betting on him putting up a decent week this week.
I can get on board with that. Yep. Higbee's been
there are a lot of options to feed in that offense, in the Rams offense, and I think Higbee is getting the short end of the stick more weeks than not. So Seals-Jones, George Tech, Hilliard or Igwebuike?
Hilliard.
Easy.
Hilliard for sure.
Yep. Andrew, currently starting Zeke at flex. Figure if he plays, I'll start him. Just getting your thoughts. I have Van Jefferson and OBJ on the bench to swish in. Okay.
Sorry, I lost my spot.
Zeke at flex is fine.
Plays, you'll start him.
He's gonna play. He's gonna play.
Zeke's playing. Zeke's playing.
I would play him over Van Jefferson.
Tony Pollard's not. Yeah, play Zeke.
Yep.
Play Zeke. RB1 workload.
It's a great guy to have in your flex anyway. This week.
Right.
Yep. Tony Pollard out. So yeah.
Right.
Good way to go. Even if Tony Pollard was in, I would probably say go Zeke. But he's not, so not something we have to prepare for. Labyrinth, if I get kicked out of the playoffs in consecutive weeks because of Russell Gage, I may have to reevaluate my life. Yo,
dude,
I'm sorry, man. If that happens, let's hope not.
Russell Gage, I'm not banking on. I'm sorry, I'm not banking on not to do it 2 weeks in a row. I don't see it. I don't see it.
Yeah. We're not fans.
No.
We're not in that fan club.
No.
Edward Reyes, Tony Pollard, yep. Don Pete, need help. MVS or Igwebuike?
MVS.
Yep. Don't matter the format. MVS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the format. Safer, much safer play. Much more involved in the offense. Much better offense. MVS.
Deluxe Krang plays. Does Tony Pollard out affect Zeke?
How does Tony Pollard out affect Zeke? I mean, we should probably see a few more touches for Zeke. Yeah, higher floor. Going to get all the goal line work.
Higher floor,
he's
higher
been
ceiling.
catching the ball like it. Yes, like Corey Clement might mix in a little bit more today. They have a guy that they elevated from the practice squad. I'm forgetting his name. I think Iron Never Lies mentioned him last night.
Yep.
I can't remember his name. They have a guy on the practice squad who they elevated. He could mix in, but Zeke's going to get as much work as he can handle. He's going to get as much work as he can handle.
Yep.
So he's safe to fire up.
Big Kong, Titans DST is such a trap game that I have to do it. Against Jacksonville, I don't think it's a trap game, man.
I mean, it's a division game, and if you really are that worried, then it's not.
Jacksonville has been terrible.
Yeah.
And it's at the point where like the team is openly not mutinying, if that's a word, but they're openly disgruntled about Urban Meyer, and it's getting bad. It's getting bad.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a trap game. I think you're fine.
I think I think the Titans. I think the Titans defense is
against Jacksonville.
I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine.
Labyrinth would be amazing to do a 32-team league.
Yeah, you got to find right. You got to find 30.
But if we're doing it with you guys, then everybody's gonna be in there. Everybody's gonna be.
Yeah, we'll call you out on the stream if you stop paying attention.
Yeah. We'll charge you league fees.
Yeah, there you go.
Aha. Yo, Labyrinth, appreciate it. Cade. T. Higgins or Hunter Renfrow non-PPR?
Higgins.
Higher upside.
There's more upside. He's just a more talented player. Like Renfro is awesome, and he's rock solid. He's super steady.
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy with basically the same floor.
Yeah.
But T. Higgins has a higher ceiling and you've been right over the last few weeks. It looks like T. Higgins has been the wide receiver 1 in that offense and not Jamar Chase.
Yeah, it could be Chase today with Higgins coming into the game with an ankle.
Yeah, but I still like Higgins. Same floor, higher ceiling. Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
George Tech, I have Thielen injured on the bench, but Kendrick Bourne is free for next week. Should I drop Thielen? No. Don't drop Thielen. He's a borderline wide receiver 1 when he's healthy. He's a threat to get 2 touchdowns every game.
Every game
that he plays. Yeah.
Don't drop Thielen. No.
Eduardo Tovar, what's popping, bro? Pick up Miami or Eagles DST for the rest of the season. Eagles DST.
Miami for next week. Eagles for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Miami's playing the Jets next week, so they are enticing. But the Eagles for weeks.
I wouldn't feel bad about picking up both and just swapping them. If there's somebody on your team that you can drop, if there's a depth receiver you don't see yourself playing, I wouldn't say that for a running back, but if there's a depth receiver that you don't see yourself having to use within the next few weeks, or at least for next week, I would consider rostering 2 defenses in leagues that I'm competitive in that play defenses. I'm rostering 2 defenses right now to do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is the Philadelphia defense, so I feel good about that. Do it.
Yep.
Cade, this is a loaded question. What kind of league are you in?
Yeah, this is a loaded question. If you're trading DK
sure.
Metcalf, what's the format? Is it redraft? What do you like? What's the rest of your roster look like? Like, what's the rest of your, what do your wide receivers look like? Who would you be acquiring? Like, give us a little bit more context. Like, what are you going to the playoffs? Like, what's the deal? Give us a little more context and maybe we can answer. Do we think he'll start doing well? I mean, he's good enough to go off any given week.
And he's good enough to make it happen off of 3 targets. But
Russell
Wilson hasn't been getting it done this year with him. That offense just hasn't been getting it done, and it's been focused more on getting targets to Tyler Lockett. And I think DK Metcalf. I don't know. Yeah.
I don't feel great about him rest of season, but I guess
But if you're in a format where it's a longer term format where it's a keeper league, dynasty league, I'm not getting rid of him. No, I don't think Russell Wilson is going to be there next year. But he's a 23-year-old alpha wide receiver I'm not getting off of him. He should outlast Pete Carroll. So at some point within his career, if you're in a longer form type situation.
So non-PPR going to the playoffs. Got Terry. It's got DeAndre Swift could be done for the year.
If it's redraft, then sure.
If it's redraft and you can get a running back for him, then sure. I mean, who would your other wide receivers be that though? Like, not that I'm afraid to move off of DK for the rest of the season for another option, but yeah, I mean, if you can get somebody to bite and give you something good that you feel good about going into the playoffs, then sure.
Can you get a running back and a wide receiver back just to
sell them on the name? Yeah, I would try to do that.
I would do that. I would do that.
Sure. Yeah, he's not a must-hold in this situation. Let's go back to I'm gonna go back to ups and down.
Who would you start? Already Clown Pool.
Yeah, whatever. He gave you a wide receiver 2 play. He gave you 8 for 93.
Clown Pool.
We'll take it.
We got Decoy, Bo Samuel, and Clown Pool.
Yeah, everybody's
Chase Clown Pool. I like that.
We got a lot of nicknames today.
Yes, sir.
Has left Higgins, Landry, Sanders, Beasley, and Kirk. And yeah, you're still starting Montgomery over Dillon. Higgins of this group, and not Emmanuel Sanders. I guess Landry. Did the Ravens lose? They lost, I think, Marlon Humphrey for the season.
I don't know.
Pretty sure.
All I know are the Browns are without 2 of their tight ends, and they happen to use tight ends a lot, and they use
Marlon Humphrey
Landry in the same area of the field.
Marlon Humphrey's done for the year for the Ravens. I would say Landry is a safe wide receiver 3. Christian Kirk might have a little bit more upside, but Arizona's got, outside of Chase Evans, they've got their full complement of weapons back. DeAndre Hopkins is back.
So Higgins then Landry.
AJ Green is there. I would go Higgins and Landry. Or like, if it's only 1, then Higgins. If it's 2, Higgins and Landry.
And Elias this week is completely irrelevant for you. All right, good
Congrats,
job.
First of all, that means bye week.
What's popping, bro? How you doing?
So hell yeah, that's what we like to see.
And yeah, you should pick up Jalen Hurts for the playoffs.
Or should you pick up a safety quarterback for the playoffs?
Well, who's your quarterback 1? I would argue
it's
that Jalen
Hurts. It's Jalen Hurts. How do you feel about Jalen Hurts for the playoffs? The answer is he's a high end. He's a QB1.
If Jalen Hurts is on the wire and you should pick him up, then you should.
No. Jalen Hurts is a safe QB1. I don't think Gardner Minshew took his job week 13. I think Hurts, his rushing upside is fantastic. He's produced the most QB1 weeks this year. He's a safe QB1. I don't think you need a safety quarterback if you only start 1 quarterback. Jalen Hurts is your guy.
Yep.
Top 5 QB upside each week.
And you called it. I'll give you props on that all day. Dallas did sign Ito Smith, but there was another person there.
Yeah, there was somebody else
on his name, but I'm not expecting him to get much work. If he does, we'll do a video.
If they did sign Ito Smith, then he's not going to get a whole lot of work.
Alucard, what's going on? Should you start Hilliard today? I would say yes, but in favor of who? But also, yes. You can feel confident starting Hilliard today. But who are you starting him in favor of? Or over? You know what I mean? George Tech, my starters: quarterback Rodgers, RB1 Hilliard, RB2 CEH, wide receiver Debo. You might want to find another person. You might be switching Marquise Brown in for Debo this week. Bench Lamar, Darrell Williams.
Should give another chance for Lamar. Aaron Rodgers against the Bears, you're fine. I would just do that. I would just do that. They're both QB1s. They should both be fine.
Lamar, Marquise, stack.
Yeah, that really hasn't been hitting the past 3 weeks.
Fair.
Hollywood has to be in, given your other options. Hollywood has to be
Debo,
in.
Debo, I know he's playing. I guess you got to start him. I'm not benching him for Darrell Williams in a game where I got CEH in there.
Yeah, I don't want to play. Yeah, I would just stick with Rodgers. I think he's safer. I think he's a little bit safer. Playing the Bears at home. Rodgers. I would just stick with Rodgers.
Yep.
Yep. And the last question I see right now is from Andrew: Hilliard or OBJ for the last bench spot? That's tough.
Last bench spot going into the playoffs?
Probably Hilliard because he's a running back.
Put your whole roster in there so we can make an informed decision.
Yeah, that would help, but I'm inclined to say Hilliard because he's a running back.
Yes.
It's just a much more volatile.
But OBJ is in a good enough offense, and he is historically a good enough player and has done enough over the past 2 weeks to me warrant saying, let me see the rest of your roster so we can really make a decision. If Hilliard is your RB 8 or 7, and you have 3 starting wide receivers and then 1 guy on the bench and it's OBJ, I got to know your roster makeup. But in a vacuum,
that would help.
In a vacuum, Hilliard, I don't.
In a vacuum, Hilliard, I'd rather roster a bunch of running backs.
Yeah. Roman, what's going on? Scary Terry or Amari Cooper in full PPR? Scary Terry. Feels safer.
Terry's safer.
And then
at
PPR,
home.
He's going to get peppered with more targets than Amari Cooper will be. Amari Cooper, he's a guy that can make it work off 4 or 5 targets, 3-4 catches. But Scary Terry's the guy that's going to get peppered for targets. They need him to win in a divisional game. Scary.
Yep.
Scary.
Cooper has wide receiver 1 upside, but he's got wide receiver 3 downside. I mean, I guess Terry has had the downside as well, but the target share is safer. He's at home. Both teams are playing well. But I like the intangibles for Terry a little bit more because of the expected amount of targets.
Yep. And Alucard, I think that's a good
starting Hilliard over Jamar Jefferson and Ty Johnson. Yeah, that's a good call. Great best matchup by far, best situation by far. Gave the Titans a spark week 12 with a big play. This week against Jacksonville. Not too worried about that matchup. There are significant matchup concerns with both Jefferson and Ty Johnson. So yeah, you're good there. You're good. George, we appreciate the kind words.
Thanks for subbing.
Yeah, welcome aboard.
Yes, sir.
We're here each week of the season.
Just so you know, we got live streams Saturdays at 6 p.m. EST, Sundays 10 a.m. EST, and Tuesdays 6 p.m. EST as well.
Yeah. So that's for going into the week, waivers, trades, general questions, and then start, sit, help each week, which is more magnified now because we got the playoffs upon us. This is the last week in the regular season for most leagues. I know some leagues are starting their playoffs today, which, by the way, get on the phone with your commissioners if you are. Change that to next week. Change that to start week 15 next year. We don't want to be playing a playoff game with bye weeks. Still a factor. That's no fun.
And then I know last season, which is when we started this channel, we actually started it last season. We were just not consistent with it, didn't really have a vision for it, and we're just kind of messing around, getting our feet wet. But Nick, the best video we had for a while was a video that Nick did of DFS players to play for the NFL playoffs.
For one of the NFL playoff
right,
games.
So after the fantasy season, stick with us even if you're not dynasty related. Stick with us through the end of the actual NFL season, post season included, because if you guys play DFS, if you want to get involved in DFS, we plan to have some content related to DFS and who you should be playing in the playoffs. as well. So just because your redraft or keeper or dynasty league ends doesn't mean the fantasy season is over. But Elias, someone dropped Calvin Ridley today. Should you pick him up?
Dynasty, yeah, but I assume this isn't Dynasty.
Hey, if it is, then damn. But yes, if it is, yes. Absolutely.
But if it's redraft, no. He's just gonna clog a roster spot at this point. Like,
there's no reason for him to come back.
He's not gonna come back at this point. It's not happening. Not this year. Hopefully he comes back with his mind right in 2022. But for the fantasy playoffs, he will not help you. So no, leave him on the wire.
Callum Roger, pick 2, Jerry Jeudy, Darrell Williams, and Julio Jones, full PPR.
Jeudy for sure. And then I might say I'm sorry. I'm so off Julio. Darrell Williams has maintained a role even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire returning.
I'm going Jerry Jeudy and Darrell Williams.
I'll go Jeudy and Darrell Williams.
I'm only playing Julio Jones where I absolutely have to. If it's a choice between Igwe Buike and Julio Jones in your flex, I'm going Julio Jones. But yeah, I mean, if it's the choice between Julio Jones and Kenny Golladay in your flex, I'm going Julio Jones. But that's it. That's about it. Literally, most other situations, I'm steering away. So Jeudy and Williams.
Jeudy and Darrell Williams. Yep.
Richie, what's going on, man? Do I drop Van Jefferson to make room for Mike Williams?
Yeah. Yes.
You have Khalil Herbert because you have Monty. Do you drop Khalil Herbert? Who else is on your bench, man?
Oh, right. We got this. Oh, that's right. We asked about this last night.
Yo?
Yeah. First of all,
it's crazy that you would have to drop Van Jefferson. You must have the most loaded roster in the world.
Well, if that's the case,
if you do, if you do have the most loaded roster in the world, and you're like super
Herbert
deep at wide receiver, then fine. If you're like 5 deep at wide receiver 1, fine. Because then I want the handcuff still, because playoffs and anything can happen. And
right.
Herbert was a RB1 when tasked with the workload to be able to achieve that. Throw your whole roster in the chat, and we told the same
at
thing.
The end
Andrew,
of the day,
at
the end of the day, we're dropping somebody because Mike Williams has to be in your starting lineup.
Andrew, there we go. We got it. You threw it in the chat. Brady, Marquise Brown, DJ Moore, Kamara, Zeke, Freiermuth, CEH. Henderson, Rogers, Waller. Okay. Really
I would rather hold Hilliard.
Yeah.
I would rather hold Hilliard because you can plug Thielen back in when he's healthy. You can plug Van in. I would hold. And honestly, man, as it's getting to week 16 and we're getting to week 17, if you're still alive, if Darren Waller is healthy, the likes of Freiermuth is a drop. Whoever quarterback you're not starting is a drop. I know you get Brady and Rodgers. That's crazy, but you're only starting 1. You don't need 2. Like Aaron Rodgers.
I would be picking Brady over Rodgers moving forward.
I would drop
Rodgers instead of dropping Van Jefferson
or OBJ.
Yeah, I would
Hilliard.
drop Rodgers because I'm rolling with Tom Brady the rest of the way, and it's I'm not moving off him. It's not like I have a stack and I'm trying to play matchups or anything. It's Brady's in a QB1.
Yeah. Like Yep, I'm okay with that. I know it sounds crazy, but you don't need two quarterbacks when you only start 1. Like,
hey, Abdallah, if you keep spamming the chat, we're gonna have to put you in a timeout, bro.
Yeah, stop spamming the chat.
We'll get to it. You just got to throw your question in once, and we'll get to it. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But thank you for being here. Just don't do it again.
Yeah. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah. But solid lineup, man.
Solid group of players.
Yeah, but I'd be trying to hold on to both of those players. I wouldn't be rostering 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
CXK, hey, appreciate you being here, bro. appreciate you sticking with us. You've been with us for a while, so yeah, thanks. Shout out to you. Rondell Moore, Rashad Bateman this week. Rondell?
That's tough.
What have they both been doing the past? I mean, I know Rashad Bateman hasn't. I haven't been keeping up with what Rondell's been doing. I know Rashad Bateman hasn't been doing much. Rondell 2 weeks ago against Seattle, 10-point week, but since week 6, he hasn't been doing too much. Obviously, that coincided with Kyler Murray being out, and he's back now.
Right. So that
against the Rams, they might need him more.
Bateman. I think Bateman's had a couple more relevant weeks more recently. I feel like he's higher on the depth chart for targets. I know he's been getting jobbed by Sammy Watkins, but Rondale feels like more of a dart throw. I don't know. I would rather play Bateman.
Yeah, over the past few weeks, his Rondale's or Rashad Bateman's target share has dropped.
Yeah,
he was getting 8 targets a game for a good 2-game stretch there, but it's dropped down to the point where in week 13 he had 1 target.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say Bateman. Safe. It's a little bit safer floor. They're both they're both uninspiring wide receiver 3s, but I'll go Bateman. Yeah. It's been a little bit more consistent despite last week's goose egg.
Elias, I have a decent team for the playoffs. I think I have some chances. Hey.
Yeah, let's go. This is what we're playing. This is what we're playing for. This is what we do it for. It's playoff time. It's winning time. So yeah, hopefully.
And thanks to you, Elias. You've been
happy to hear that we were able to help out
too. So appreciate it. Thanks
for
for being part of this community. You've been awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
Abdullah, Hasty or Amir Abdullah? I'm going Hasty.
Hasty.
Yep. Your running backs are Harris, Swift, and Gaskins. All right. That sucks for this week, but Harris
sucks
should be
for this
back,
week,
and Gaskins should be back off of COVID. He is fully vaccinated, so I think he's in a good spot to be back. You might want to pick up Lindsey if he's on the wire to a point that I forget who made it earlier.
You might want to pick up Jamar Jefferson because Swift is looking like a shutdown candidate.
That too.
Swift, I would not be banking on Swift coming back the rest of the year. Full stop. But for this week, I like Hasty's chances. 3rd down, hurry up, 2-minute drill in a game where I think San Fran might. They're slight.
Who's your other running back though?
If
you got Harris, Swift, and Gaskins, and you can't play any of them today. And you're choosing between Hasty and Abdullah. Who's the other running back do you have?
Just out of curiosity,
because you should probably be just
start getting handcuffs. Yeah, start getting handcuffs.
Yeah. But thanks for your question, bro. And yeah, we it might take us sometimes a little bit longer to get through the chat to get to your question, but we do get to all of the questions
we get
in here every day. So
yeah, you
never have to worry about throwing your question in multiple times. We'll get to it. Big Bong, what's going on? Bing Bong, not Big Bong. All right, oops. Never mind. Connor or Higgins in the flex, need a dub for the playoffs. Connor,
he's been an RB1.
Doesn't matter the format, you got to go Connor. Higgins is coming off an injury.
RB1. Yeah, Higgins is coming in with an ankle. I'm not too worried about it because I think he returned to practice Thursday, but
yeah,
Connor's been an RB1.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantee Chase Edmonds gets activated.
Connor.
Yeah.
And Richie, your wide receivers are Debo, DJ Moore, Deontay, Mike Williams, Godwin, and Van Jefferson.
Yeah, so none of those dudes are getting dropped.
But you can drop. That means you can drop Van Jefferson if you got Debo, DJ Moore, Deontay, Mike Williams, and Godwin. You're probably not playing Van Jefferson. Whereas I would want to hold on to Khalil Herbert just in case something happened to
Probably not. Deontay, Debo, and Godwin are very clearly ahead of Van Jefferson. DJ Moore might not be.
Yeah, I would drop Van Jefferson for Mike Williams.
Yeah, drop Van. Hang on to Khalil Herbert since you have Montgomery. And activate Mike and play Mike Williams. All right. It hurts to suggest dropping Van, but in this situation, I think you're okay to do that.
Yep.
And then Hill over Stafford. I don't hate that call.
You really going to Hill over Stafford?
I
know
I
you
don't
love
hate the
quarterbacks
call.
with rushing floor, but I mean,
I know
Stafford's going to need to pass against the Rams. I know it's a tough defense to
tougher
do it
matchup.
against,
Hill's
but
got a much better matchup. I am going to plant my flag. I'm going to say Taysom over Stafford. The rushing upside is there. Kamara is back. His wide receivers are dog water. No offense to those guys, but Hill doesn't need good wide receivers to deliver a good fantasy performance. He threw 4 interceptions last week and was throwing to the likes of Traquan Smith and Marquez Callaway and still came away with 20-plus fantasy points. Like, in a great matchup against the Jets, who give up some of the highest rush production to fantasy running backs.
I just looked. Arizona Cardinals are giving up 15.1 fantasy points.
They're one of the toughest
matchups
matchups across the board for opposing defenses.
Yeah.
And they're at home. They're in their house. Give me Hill. Give me Hill against the Jets.
Jets are giving up 18.7.
And that doesn't even factor in what they're giving up to running backs, which Hill is a pseudo running back.
Yep.
Hill.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you. Good call.
Boom.
Start Allen Robinson, Godwin, Igwebuike, or Zach Ertz.
Ertz? I don't think he did that much last. I don't think he did that much last week.
There was an alert on Hurts yesterday. I forget what it said.
On Zach Ertz?
Yeah.
Limited in Friday's practice. New addition to the injury report this week. Should play. Ooh, I don't like that update.
Yeah.
Gross. Damn. This one's difficult. Allen Robinson has no-showed this year. But given these options,
given the fact that they're playing Green Bay, they're gonna have to throw conceivably to keep up.
I don't even know if
I don't think I've ever advised Allen Robinson this year. I don't think I have, outside of the first 2 weeks. But I think out of this group,
wide receiver 5 or 6. I'm gonna say Igwebuike. I think he's got a little bit more upside. I'm gonna say Godwin. I'm gonna say Igwebuike. I think his. I can't believe we're here, but Ertz was a late addition to the injury report. Not anything you ever want to hear. And playing on Monday night, if he's a surprise inactive, then you're toast. So I think Ertz is removed from the equation here. Allen Robinson is a wide receiver 5.
They played Green Bay once this year, and he got the second most targets he got all season. He got 7 targets from Justin Fields. 4 for 53 was his line, and he had 7 points, which is probably what you're
hoping for.
You're hoping for from Godwin Igwebuike. I think they're about. I think when you're at that level, they're about the same.
So I'll say the running back
for today's game.
So I'll say the running back.
Okay. Wow.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh God.
I'll say the running back. I'm gonna say Igwebuike over Allen freaking Robinson. This is where we're at today. This is where we're at.
That's insane.
Igwebuike is my call.
Yeah, I got to keep.
He's got a pass catching. There's a chance
off a hamstring injury, so he might be limited.
Yeah, there's a chance Godwin takes the DeAndre Swift role today, catches some passes.
Okay, yeah, go for it. Godwin.
Yup.
Do it. I don't hate that now. That's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yup.
Elout, what's popping?
What's up, Elout?
Do you play Cooks? Yeah.
Sure. What are your other options?
Yeah, let us know, but I'm not staying away from Cooks. He's got Davis Mills. Davis Mills hyper-targeted him earlier in the season.
Yeah, and he probably will again.
Yeah, so he actually kind of fell off a little bit when Tyrod came back. So Davis Mills is actually a better quarterback for Brandon Cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's worth hanging on to Antonio Brown, Gareth Murray, or Garth Murray?
So a little bit of extra context here would be helpful. Like if you've got a bye week, like sure. If you're comfortably in the playoffs,
for me.
What?
It's not a must hold for me.
No, he's not a must hold. I was just, do you have a bye week? Can you afford to wait? Or do you need the roster spot like now? If you need the roster spot now, you can drop him. I personally think Antonio Brown might just get cut by Tampa Bay.
It's possible.
That being said, it hasn't happened yet. So if we want to officially play out the timeline, I would do that if you can afford to. If you need the roster spot, then no, he's not a hold. And Jamar Jefferson's taken.
David Sigabawike, Hasty Abdullah.
Okay. So
okay.
Does that mean you're playing Mike Davis?
Over Amir Abdullah?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
That's a crappy situation to be in, bro. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I guess I would play Davis. I would play Davis and Hasty. My stupid camera.
You'll be back. There you go.
I'm back. And I'm back. Davis and Hasty.
Yep.
So yeah.
And Igwe Buwike over Abdullah, I think. For this week.
Sure. If it came to that decision, then sure.
Bing Bong, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Knoxville, think playing Debo.
What's going on, Knoxville?
Debo and
Jeff Wilson
Jr. is a bad idea.
Only
Debo
option is Julio, so no.
But no, I'm not playing Julio over any of those guys. But Debo and
I will take the shot on Debo today over Julio Jones. Yeah. I'll take a chance on Debo today over Julio, and Jeff Wilson for sure. Yep.
What about Jefferson, Detroit? Jamar Jefferson, go peep our video. We got a video going over it for about 5 minutes. You can hear our thoughts, and we do a deep dive on Jamar Jefferson. Long story short, though, I'm going Igwe Buwike over Jamar Jefferson.
Don't love him today, but he's going to probably get rest of season work in some capacity.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Andrew JF, hey, appreciate you, bro.
Cheers to you, man. Let's get this dub.
Abdullah, Beckham or Renfro?
Renfro. For exactly why Andrew says below. Volume.
Yep.
No Darren Waller. He's going to get all the work. Renfro is as steady and safe as it gets.
Oh, and Sony is your one at RB? All right, that's a little better.
Yeah, you're. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're all right.
Yeah.
I know the RB2 is a little dicey, but you're all right.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be okay. Sony's gonna get RB1. Yeah, RB1 work. Renfro is a rock solid, safe play. In a great matchup, where the Raiders are gonna need to keep pace with a good Chiefs team that just torched them a couple weeks ago. So. Renfro.
And Will G, Godwin. Godwin.
Yeah, Igwabuke over Jamar Jefferson. Yeah, I think we both like that today.
Yep.
Denver's not a very good team. Detroit's a worse team. So if you believe in that narrative, then we expect Denver to play with a lead. That plays into the game script as far as being more favorable to the pass-catching running back, and that's Igwabuke.
He's more athetic.
I really hope we're saying that right, by the way.
Igwabuke? Yeah, I mean, I've mispronounced it. But he's more athletic than Jamar Jefferson, even though he just made the switch. But he's been in the NFL longer, so I mean he's older. He's got old man strength. He's played just as many snaps from the running back spot as Jamar Jefferson has this year. Just more receiving yards, actually, more receptions. Just as many touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I like Godwin. Bing Bong, do you guys truly trust Mahomes and Dak this week? Picked up Hill in all my leagues. If
Sure.
my choice is Mahomes and Dak or Taysom Hill, I'm going Mahomes and Dak.
Mahomes I know the Chiefs have been kind of pulling teeth, like it's been like pulling teeth recently, but Mahomes is getting the Raiders defense that he just threw 5 touchdowns against like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Play Mahomes. Play Mahomes. Against the Raiders. Like, yes, do the Raiders like overcorrect and switch up their game plan and switch up their defensive scheme? Sure, probably. But Mahomes got him for 5. So if they overcorrect and he still gets 3, like, you got what you wanted from Mahomes. Yeah, play Mahomes.
And yeah, Abdel, I agree with that.
Yep.
And I think,
but if you have to play one, yeah, we like Godwin.
And I think Debo will be limited today. I don't see a way, but I could be wrong. He's a freak. He could prove me wrong. He's that type of dude who can he can come out and do the most unlimited touches too. But I think he's gonna be limited in some form or fashion. It's the same injury that he was dealing with last year.
Yep.
And I honestly don't know why the team is playing games with it. But he's out there, but I think he will be limited. Out Josh Reynolds or Westbrook Akine? Josh Reynolds, just because Hawkinson is out, and
sure.
Julio Jones, we don't love him or love the idea of playing him. He's going to be out there. He's going to get targets pulled away from Westbrook Akine. And Jeremy McNichols is out there as well. He's at least healthy. We don't know how much work he's going to get, but he's a pass catching back too. So technically, they have 2 pass catching backs out there now.
I think Reynolds' floor is decently safe.
Yep. Or Josh Palmer. I'm still going Reynolds.
Yep. Reynolds.
Swizzle, what's going on, bro?
What's up, Swizzle?
Need a wide receiver 2 and flex. Ayuk, Mooney, Judy, Gallup. I think those first 2.
You think Ayuk over Gallup? I agree on Mooney.
Yeah. I think Ayuk over Gallup. Mooney wide receiver 2, Ayuk flex.
Gallup's got a great matchup by the numbers today.
Gallup is the team's wide receiver 3. Ayuk at worst is the team's wide receiver 2.
He's pass catcher 3 though, potentially, when you factor in Kittle.
But I think Debo's going to be limited.
You think Debo's limited enough where Ayuk maintains like he's the second option today?
Yep.
That's fair. Yeah. All right. Ayuk and Mooney. Mooney takes a little bit of a hit with Allen Robinson coming back, but honestly, maybe it forces the Packers to not have to pay or to not be able to pay as much attention to Mooney.
Yeah.
So there's a give and take there. But Mooney's been a low end wide receiver 1 for the past month.
Hey, South City, great to see you too.
And
Oakwas, I hope you guys are doing. Hey, hope you're doing well too. Flex question: full PPR, Renfro
Absolutely.
or Dontrell Hilliard? Renfro.
Renfro, since it's full PPR.
Yep.
I think his targets are incredibly safe. It should be a shootout or a game where we expect the Raiders to have to keep pace with the Chiefs offense. Renfro is going to be needed heavily today.
Yeah, and with that current lineup, do you have another flex?
Should I pick up a QB instead of Hill since you have Kamara is the question. No, you're fine. The Taysom Hill can be it's gross. It's not going to be pretty on the field, but who the hell cares when it comes to fantasy points?
And income stock investing, thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated.
Yeah, appreciate that. But I would say no, since you only start 1 quarterback, you don't need to. Tua is, I would drop Tua for literally like whatever else is out there. Like even if it's Tony Jones to protect against Kamara potentially going down or Benny Snell or Anthony McFarland or like get a handcuff. You don't need Tua.
Yeah, if you're not in a 2 QB league, neither of us recommend rostering.
Just roster 1
quarterback.
Just roster 1. You
even
don't
if it's
you
Rodgers,
don't need to.
Even if it doesn't matter who it is.
Right. Yeah. If you've got Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady, if the trade deadline has passed, one of those guys is useless. As crazy as it sounds, one of those guys is useless. I would just drop Tua for a handcuff if there's one available.
Yeah. Callie, good morning to you too. Detroit's Godwin, drop Sutton or Bateman if you have to pick up a running back. Considering that DeAndre Swift might be put on IR,
could be done for the year.
I would be dropping Sutton here.
Not Bateman?
I would not be dropping Bateman. Bateman's been better more recently.
Yeah, Bateman's been better recently. Despite
and I could see a way a road to Sammy Watkins fading again down the stretch and Rashad Bateman having a bit better of a stretch over the next few games as he had over the past three.
Just because Sammy's a veteran, that's all. And the Baltimore Ravens are obviously going to the playoffs. Or are they obviously going to the playoffs? Maybe they're not obviously going anymore. I think they're still the division leaders. But...
I still stand by it. I would rather have Bateman on my team than Sutton.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean,
Sutton,
better
over
quarterback
the past
play.
6 weeks has been the wide receiver 73.
He's a wide receiver 7.
And he's been averaging 3.3 fantasy points over the last 6 to 7 weeks. That's not somebody that I need to roster. He's a name. He's a guy, again, just like Allen Robinson, who's borderline. He's a name on your bench. He's not contributing to your point totals at all.
I think he delivers a usable match performance today, just because it's Detroit. But
I think if he doesn't, then it's just the nail in the coffin.
Then it's like not even a question.
Yeah. But if you need the running back, I don't hate dropping Sutton for Godwin. Are you dropping Bateman?
He's got Deontay, Keenan Allen, and Terry McLaurin. Well, if you've got Keenan Allen, he's not going to play today. So, do you need a wide receiver?
True.
And then
or are you starting 2 wide receivers?
Or do you only start 2? Yeah, or do you only start 2?
Is that what you're doing, picking somebody up to start in your flex? Or something.
Yeah.
But no, I don't hate dropping Sutton. I know it's hard because he is a big name and he should be producing, but he just isn't. And I don't think that improves over the next few weeks. It's not like he has stellar matchups going forward.
No.
Bing bong, pick one for the flex. Gordon, MVS, Ayuk, or Shepard. MVS, Ayuk.
Ayuk is safe. MVS is an upside play if you think you need upside. If you're looking at your matchup and you're like, my opponent is better, or my opponent has a better lineup, and I need a guy who could, where I need to make a move or two where I swing for the fences, then MVS. But if you think you can play it safe, then Ayuk.
The thing about Ayuk is, and I think Debo is going to be limited. I'm predicting Debo is going to be limited. His coaching staff is already doing something that I wouldn't do in playing him at all. So I don't know if they're going to go out and do something again stupid, because Kyle Shanahan's been doing some stupid things this year. He has.
Never discount NFL teams and coaches from doing something stupid.
So I mean there is a. I mean, I could see a way in which Deebo Samuel gets more work than he should coming off an injury.
Are you saying play MVS regardless?
I'm saying play MVS for the upside, and he should have a decent floor regardless. And I think for this week, you're looking at similar outcomes.
His floor is kind of blah, but his ceiling is excellent. I stand by what I mean. You're playing MVS no matter what.
Yep.
I'm playing MVS for the upside, but if you think you can play it safe, like if you're the favorite, if you're the one where you're like, my team is nice, my opponent is the underdog, I would play Ayuk. If it's a little bit more even, or if you feel like you're the underdog, then MVS.
Okay, I agree with that.
There you
Screw
go.
It. Agreeing with that.
South
City, should I pick up a
Oh, that was we addressed that. Yeah, just drop Tua. You just drop Tua for a handcuff somewhere.
And Abdella, Sony Hasty or Sony Davis? I assume that's Mike Davis, and I'm going Sony Hasty if it's Mike Davis. I really don't like Mike Davis the rest of the season. They're finding ways to put Kadre Olison off the practice squad ahead of Mike Davis. They tried the Wayne Gallman thing to put him ahead of Mike Davis.
That didn't work.
And they've been wanting to run Cordarrelle Patterson ahead of Mike Davis all season. They don't like Mike Davis.
I mean, he delivered last week against Tampa Bay in a tough matchup, but it's a tougher matchup today by the numbers against Carolina.
I'd rather have Hasty.
Okay, that's wild. But yeah, I don't mind the upside that Hasty presents as a potential pass catching back in a game where I think the 49ers could be trailing. Bengals have a good offense playing at home. I think game script could factor in for Hasty today.
Income stock investing. I was leaning towards Godwin as my
Okay.
as my final flex play. Big Ben, Mahomes, Elliott, Jacobs, Julio, Claypool, Ayuk, Renfro, Gronk, Godwin as my starters.
This is a deep starter.
It is a deep starter.
Deep starting lineup, which I like. I'm a big fan. And I'm good with those. But I'm good with Carlson against the Chiefs. I'm good with the Titans today against the Jags. So,
Bender, thank you so much for the super.
Bender, what's going on, dude? Everybody, wipe your feet. Oh, this is that's too kind of you. Appreciate
Standard
that.
League. Sony or Javante? Sony, because it looks like Melvin Gordon is going to get some work.
Sony.
I know you love Javante, and I know we're seeing the breakout, and I get that. And I just made a video where where I stated whenever Melvin Gordon doesn't play, Javante Williams is going to be a RB1, but Melvin Gordon's going to be playing some form of snaps this week.
So here's the advantage. Bender. Javante Williams plays at 4:05. Sony doesn't play until Monday night. If Melvin Gordon is ruled out, if Melvin Gordon is a surprise inactive, Javante.
Yeah.
But if you want to go with the guy who has a guaranteed full workload expected, even though it's a bad matchup, if Melvin Gordon is active, then you know for a fact that you have another guy in your back pocket playing Monday night in Sony Michel, who we know will get an RB1 workload. Not a good matchup by the numbers, but the Rams are a good offense and definitely a much better one than Denver. So if Melvin Gordon is active, I still think Javante Williams operates as the 1A today, even if Melvin Gordon is active. So for what that's worth, I think Javante operates as the 1A in a great matchup. And Javante Williams, it's okay that it doesn't affect him that Denver's offense stinks. He's excellent.
Yeah.
I'll give the slight edge to Sony, though, if Melvin Gordon is in.
Yep.
But
I agree with that. If Melvin Gordon is a surprise out, then absolutely switch to Javante.
I would say Javante,
100%.
Yeah. If Melvin Gordon is out, then Javante.
As always, thank you for the support.
Yes, sir. Appreciate. Yeah, these Bender's been here since the beginning.
Yes, sir. Day one. All right, Callie.
Appreciate it.
Going to the playoffs, last chance to add in this injury. Washington, DST. I have Tennessee now. Lazard, wide receiver.
Don't pick up Washington.
Who I don't even know who they play, but
they play Dallas today. Tennessee for sure. Washington gets the Eagles, I know, and then maybe the Giants. So they would definitely be viable against the Giants. But we're not there yet. Is Miami available? Callie, can you afford?
Miami available? Is Philadelphia
available? Did somebody drop Miami, and can you afford to pick them up on their bye week, because next week they play the Jets?
And I wouldn't be chasing Lazard.
Yeah.
If I'd rather.
Yeah.
I'd rather
not with Deontay, Keenan Allen, and Terry McLaurin.
Rostering more than one defense game to make sure that I have good matchups for the rest of the fantasy playoffs. If your goal is to get into the playoffs over a depth wide receiver that you can play, 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Yeah. Who you're not likely to play, and if you're forced into that situation, you might find a guy on the wire with a better matchup that given week anyway.
Exactly. Yep.
So.
And Abdallah, only if you have to. That's a situation where you can play Igwe only if you have to.
Him or Hasty?
Hasty.
Yeah, I guess Hasty over him. It's just a better offense.
Better offense.
49ers have a better offense.
One of their main playmakers should be limited. Even though Hawkinson I know is out, and that should create more opportunities in the pass game for Igwe, but I just think Hasty has higher upside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's close. It's higher upside, but they're in the same tier. And Slim, we got a kicker whisperer question, so go at it, bro.
Gano, McGoatson, Zorline.
You're gonna go McGoatson. I know you.
Nah, I don't know if I'm gonna go McGoatson.
You going Zorline?
I kind of like Zorline today. I keep saying Zorline like I'm a German. Zorline. I think I like Zerline. What?
Nothing. Keep going.
I think I like Zerline. In a game where I think points are going to be scored. I think the Cowboys are favored in that game. Washington's defense is not that good. And I think they give up lots of points to kickers anyway. Washington does. Okay, I was wrong. They're more middle of the pack, but they're not like the Cowboys are the better team, the better offense. Their defense is good enough to create short fields against a guy in Heineke, who is a gamer, but is prone to making mistakes too. If the Cowboys are winning this game, they could be tacking points on in the second half. That equates to field goals. Zerline. What's the weather in DC?
I don't know.
These are the questions I always
You're
have.
The weatherman. You're the kicker whisperer.
I am the weatherman. Washington, D.C. weather. Or do they play in Landover? Where the hell is that stadium? Regardless, in the greater D.C. area, it's going to be about 50 degrees today. No precipitation. 13-mile-per-hour winds is like a little bit of like, oof, but it's not 20. It's not 25. That is a little bit more doable as far as wind gusts go. So, Zerline.
There you go.
Kicker whisperer / weatherman. They're one and the same. Got to look at weather. Make sure, people, with your kickers, always, if you're not playing in a dome, just double check to be safe the weather conditions for your kicker.
Yep.
Always check the weather conditions.
And Abdallah, yeah, it's Sony Hasty. Sony Hasty.
There you go. Man, I hope JaMychal Hasty comes through today.
Hope so. We've been recommending
I hope he comes through today.
Labyrinth, Rex Burkhead with DJ out or Foreman?
Rex Burkhead's got
higher upside. I mean, Foreman at least last week got over 100 yards. Rex Burkhead, we haven't seen him do anything since he left the Patriots. And we haven't seen any running back for that team do much of anything outside of a week 1 touchdown from Phillip Lindsay. No.
I don't think he's a bad option, but I'll go Foreman in a situation where I think Tennessee is a little bit more stable. Burkhead's got a great matchup today against Seattle. Seattle is a defense to target when it comes to
Houston. I'm done.
But
I'm done playing that game.
Foreman is safer. Foreman is safer.
Walkwas, thank you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Greg Z, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for coming hanging out.
You checked waivers again this week, and I'm you're in need of two.
Need two.
Either Detroit running back, Ty Johnson, Judy, MVS, Darrell Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Judy and MVS.
Judy and MVS. MVS,
Judy,
there's just I know it's pulling teeth with the Denver passing attack right now, but Judy is a talent level tier break from the rest of these guys, and we're both high on MVS's upside this week. Guyton is interesting, but not like over MVS.
Neither of us believe in Gage.
I can't get behind Gage, not against Carolina's defense. Can't do it. But like MVS for his upside, again, I'll just, as a reminder for anybody who needs it, prior to the bye week, past 2 games, MVS has 19 total targets, and Randall Cobb is out.
That's why I like him so much this week. That's why I'm playing him over Ayuk. That's the reason right there. You said that stat last night, and it was just like, oh, all right. Wasn't paying attention to that. MVS is legit for the next moving forward, at least for the next
moving forward, because Randall Cobb is out indefinitely.
Yeah,
Randall Cobb doesn't have, and I said it earlier on the stream. I'll say it again. Randall Cobb is top 5 in the NFL in red zone targets. So now that top 5 red zone target in the NFL is vacated.
See, where else are you gonna get that type of info, bro?
Steel trap.
Boom, Greg Z. There you go.
Bam.
Go grab Judy and MVS with confidence, man.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us for real. Bing Bong. Keep saying Big Bong. So, sorry, man.
Want a big bomb.
Yeah.
Dalvin and Deontay, you're going against out. Yep, MVS. Do it.
MVS.
Yep. I like see that. This
you just
is the
made the
specific
case for
scenario.
It again, so yeah. Yep.
This is the specific scenario that I like to look at and break down. It's like, what is this? What is my specific situation, and what do I need? MBS.
And Bender, thanks again. Cali, only 2.
Sure.
What do you? Only 2 to what?
Only 2 to. I'm not sure what the only 2.
Clarify that, and we'll get back to it. Bing bong.
Or the kicker. You have the. Oh. Sorry, we missed. He had a kicker question. Sorry
about that.
He has the Cincy rookie. You have McGoatson, but you're thinking about Prater for the playoffs. I'm okay with that. Prater's been rock solid, and it's a better offense. With Kyler Murray back, yeah, I'm good with that, Callie. I love McPherson. I think moving forward, he's going to be really good. But I don't mind the pivot to Prater for the playoffs. Like, plays in a warm weather environment with Arizona. I don't know what their road schedule is, but they play in a dome at home. Like, there's comfortable conditions, or I think they have a retractable roof or something like that. Regardless, it's Arizona. There's no weather concerns there ever. Prater.
That it might get too hot.
Yeah, but that's not going to affect Prater. Prater over. I like McGoatson moving forward, but he's a drop for a guy like Prater for the playoffs.
And Bing Bong, I have Debo, but no way I should sit him for Ayuk. I mean, it just really depends how you feel the 49ers are going to deal with Debo coming off of an injury where they really shouldn't be playing him in general. If you think they're going to make the dumb decision and play him a lot,
he didn't practice
in the run
all
game
this week, right?
I don't believe so. Then play Debo. If you think they're just going to have him out there as a decoy like Brett,
I think he's gonna be more than a decoy, but he's
decision.
got more
downside.
downside.
The dumb decision to play him, and at that point he's a threat to get injured coming off an injury.
Oh, I'm sorry. Debo did get in one limited practice this week. I guess that's on Friday.
I guess no. You have to, if you have Debo and Ayuk, you're playing Debo.
Because he got in one limited practice, there's downside for sure. But Debo's been a wide receiver 1 this year.
You start your studs.
You start your studs. Debo's a stud.
Yeah.
But if you have like I think we got Jamar Chase or Debo, then in this situation I prefer Chase because I see Higgins is banged up going in, and Chase is an excellent pivot regardless.
Now, just keep your eyes on how that unfolds moving closer to 425. If they decide to not. That some news comes out in favor of Debo being a lot more limited, or Debo sitting out, or Debo being a decoy, or something like that, then keep an eye out for that. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
But
yeah, I guess Debo, but there is downside.
Bender, thank you. Appreciate it.
There.
Kyle Nohe, yep. Thanks for joining us. What's going on, bro? But yeah, Pollard is out.
No Pollard, so Zeke should get whatever he can handle. And the defenses are gone. Well, you're not. Is that Atlanta? You're not picking up Atlanta.
I know Carolina's crappy on offense right now, but yeah, you don't.
I'm not picking up Atlanta. Nah,
they're not a defense that I'm trying to.
Tennessee for this week, and then we'll worry about defense next week.
Yep. Come back and we'll help you out.
We'll worry about defense next week. Yeah.
And you too, man. Thanks for joining us for real. And Darrell Williams,
thanks for joining.
Darrell Williams, is that who? Which one is that?
Yeah, is that Darrell? I'm gonna assume it's Darrell. No, you can pick him up.
Pick him up. If it's
pick him up.
No, leave him there.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably prefer to have Darrell Williams over like a Mike Davis.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, just a better offense, has had a role even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire being back from injury. I think I would rather have him over Davis. I think I'd rather take a shot with a guy like Darrell Williams.
Yeah, I would too.
There you go. So yeah, he's worth a pickup.
Yeah. If that's Darrell Williams, pick him up.
Sure.
New Era TB, Jeff Wilson, Chuba, or OBJ start 1. What's the
Chuba.
format? But
Chuba.
What's the format? I mean, what's the format?
You're not. Yeah, okay. I think you're off Chuba because of the threat of Cam, which I understand. But
well, the threat of that offense being bad, the threat of
they're not good. But it's a great. But Atlanta's
upside, the threat
Atlanta's defense stinks.
I know that, but Chuba wasn't lighting the world on fire when he was getting all of the work, and I know he's getting the majority of the work now. But Amir Abdullah has come on. Amir Abdullah was getting pass catching work when Christian McCaffrey was playing, and now Christian McCaffrey's out. So you have to hypothesize that Amir Abdullah is going to get a little bit more work in the pass game. Might not amount to much because it's Cam Newton, and Cam Newton, he takes the majority of the rush attempts in the goal line or in the red zone.
On the goal line, yeah.
And so I just think that limits Chuba Hubbard's ability to get touchdowns to the
would you
much
play
to the
Wilson
point
then?
Huh?
Would you play Wilson?
I want to know the format. I'm trying to should this be OBJ? Do I go
2 QB, 2 Superflex, full PPR? Are you saying Odell because it's full? And it's a bad matchup by the numbers. Like Chuba's got a really good matchup by the numbers.
Who are your quarterbacks? Any chance you got a flex or you got a stack there? You got Matt Stafford.
Is there a stack?
But yeah, I would go OBJ and hope for another touchdown like he scored the past 2 weeks. Ten targets 2 weeks ago. I mean,
yeah, they could be trailing.
He's got a higher ceiling than any of those guys.
Yeah.
And to me, if I'm going with one of the running backs, I'm going with Jeff Wilson over Chuba.
I'm not ready to go there.
Because regardless of how we feel about Jermichael Hasty, we're hoping he gets 50% of the work.
Wilson's expected to be the starter, I know.
It plays in a better offense with the number one playmaker limited, who has been getting rush attempts, and now he's not going to be. Even if they use Deebo Samuel, they better not use him in the run game. That would just be the dumbest thing. As far as trying to keep him healthy. Yeah, I would go OBJ, then Jeff Wilson, then Chuba. I don't like Chuba this week. And I'll plant my flag and say I don't like Chuba this week.
Okay.
Prove me wrong.
There you go.
But you like Chuba this week.
I mean,
you have a different order than I do.
I don't hate Chuba this week. It's a phenomenal matchup, and he's still expected to be the starter. But since it's full PPR, I don't hate the pivot to Odell.
QBs are Kyler and Herbert, Lamar on the bench, dynasty leagues. So.
Damn.
Hey, no, that's solid. Solid quarterbacks, man, for real.
That's how it's done. That's how it's done. That's how you know. And since it's super flex, don't trade any of them, right?
Yeah.
Unless you get like a Godfather package of players and picks that you can't refuse, but that's how you do it. That's how it's done. Yeah, I guess Odell, because especially with that's kind of like we really want to get in the weeds on stacks. That's kind of a contrarian stack. Kyler against Kyler. So if you think Arizona is going to be scoring, Kyler's running around doing his thing, Rams got to play a little bit of catch up or keep pace, then Odell is a direct beneficiary of that. Mm-hmm. That's what we call a contrarian stack.
Playing the numbers. Yeah, man, I think I'm going Odell there.
I'll go Odell. I feel like he's actually maybe a little bit safer than those two running backs. They both got situations breathing down their necks that make them a little bit more volatile. Mm-hmm. Odell. Yep. Odell. What's with these damn spammers today?
Yeah, I don't know. Knock him out the box, Nick. Kawanohi got a defense question. Carolina or Seattle?
I'll dox them. They're clearly bots.
I mean, if it's against...
Carolina.
Carolina.
I don't.
You can't play Seattle.
I don't trust Seattle in anything. I know it's Houston. I know it's Davis Mills. I know. But the Falcons are giving up lots of points to opposing defenses, and Carolina is actually a good defense.
Yeah.
Carolina. I'll go Carolina. Kaunohi. I think they're a little safer.
And yeah. I mean, it is kind of a toss up. Bing bong. It is a little bit of a toss up, but edge in Debo's favor because he is
light edge
they've
to
come
Debo
out and said that he's playing, and he's a wide receiver 1 when he
got limited practice in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be dicey, but if he's in there, then yeah. I gotta fire him up in a must win.
Yep.
If my option is Ayuk, then I go Debo. If my option is say Jamar Chase, I go Jamar Chase.
And we got a kicker question from Abdullah.
I can do that. Maher, no. McPherson or Bullock? Where is he at these days? Is he on
Randy
the
Bullock?
Titan? Where is
I don't
Bullock
know.
these days? I like McPherson a lot.
Yeah,
I like
you're not asking
McPherson.
me because I'm not the kicker whisperer, but I'd be going McPherson.
I think I would too. Maher, he's the Saints kicker. Yeah, that's a situation that I don't know. Well, actually, against the Jets, it's not like the worst play, but he's volatile. Bullock could be solid. If we expect the Titans to have a big lead against Jacksonville. They're just tacking on points at the end of the game. Where is that game? I think it's in Tennessee. What's Nashville's weather? I got to look up Nashville's weather and Cincinnati's weather. So Nashville, because the game is in Tennessee, right? I believe the game is in Tennessee. It is. It is. Nashville, the weather, there's nothing to worry about as far as the kicker. So like 1% precipitation. So 1% chance of precipitation. No wind. 4 miles an hour winds. That's nothing. What about Cincinnati? Because that's where McGoatson is kicking. Also ideal situation as far as conditions. No precipitation in the forecast. Winds are less than 10 miles an hour. McPherson has the bigger leg, and I do like Cincinnati as far as a bit of a bounce back this week to score points at home. So not afraid of McPherson. Bullock is also in a good situation because the Titans are big favorites. So if you believe in that game script, if you think the Titans are going to blow out the Jags and are just going to be tacking on points at the end of the game in the form of field goals, Bullock Bullock could be fine. McPherson's got the bigger leg, but that's also a tougher matchup.
There you go. Income stock investing. Kendrick Bourne, Gainwell, and Miami D all available on waivers. Which would you grab for next week?
Miami defense.
Both are all solid ads.
Yeah.
I would say it depends on what you need. If you have good defenses, then probably Gainwell, edge to the running back. But if you need a defense to stream over the next few weeks, the Miami defense is a.
Nah, he's got Zeke, he's got Jacobs. Okay. I don't know what the rest of the bench looks like, but Zeke and Jacobs are your starters. Oh, he's got the Titans defense, who are not an option next week. I would say the Miami defense is a pickup because they're playing the Jets. That is a stream of streams. I would say Miami defense. I would go ahead and grab them now if you can.
Now he doesn't have a lot of running backs, though. I mean,
we didn't see his bench. That was just his starting lineup that he shared.
True.
So I don't know what the rest of the bench looks like for you, income stock. But what I do know is you're starting the Titans this week, and I don't know who they play next week, but I know it's not as enticing of a matchup. The Dolphins defense at home against the Jets next week. Or sorry, they're on the road, but still, it's the Jets.
And if you're still rostering Derrick Henry, drop him for Kenny Golladay.
Sure.
Because we don't expect Derrick Henry to be coming back. And
they are at home. The Dolphins are at home.
Not Kenny Golladay. Kenny Gainwell. Kenny Gainwell could step in. I mean, he looked good last week. Could step into more of a workload moving forward. And obviously, if anything happened to Miles Sanders, we could see an increase in playing time for Kenny Gainwell. So, and great playoff schedule too. So I would rather, if you mentioned Derrick Henry hurt, if you still have him, drop him.
Sure. But the Miami defense is your number one.
Yeah.
For next week.
Thomas Minerva, what's going on? Ayuk
Thomas?
Or Foreman? PPR flex. Ayuk. Because Foreman doesn't get PPR work. Especially this week with McNichols back. I think because it's PPR, and I don't think I think Debo will be limited. So what I would do, but there's such a question mark. If you have the choice between Debo and Ayuk, you're playing Debo. But Ayuk versus Foreman, I'm going Ayuk in PPR.
Ayuk's been pretty safe recently. Not too bad of a matchup by the numbers against the Bengals. Foreman obviously has a great matchup against Jacksonville. But yeah, the receiving work is not likely. Wasn't likely anyway. It's less so with McNichols back. So yeah, Ayuk. I'll say Ayuk. Yep.
Joe Fahey, what's going on?
What's up, Joe?
Hilliard for sure. I don't think we need to go into that one too much. We've been over.
Oh, Godwin or Dante. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, okay.
Hilliard.
So, well, first of all, if we missed a comment or didn't answer, apologies.
Yeah.
Weekends get a little busy with the live streams, but Hilliard in a great matchup, a little bit more of a role that we feel confident in, and Jacksonville's a train wreck. I expect Tennessee to be playing with a lead. Hilliard,
same workload, better offense. Hilliard.
Better offense, better
talent.
team. Yeah, better team that wants to run the ball. Hilliard.
Yep. And Greg Z, you gotta go Bass.
Bass.
I don't think you need the kicker whisperer for this one. I can answer this for you.
You're gonna take this.
Bass.
Take it.
Tyler Bass. And Joe Fahey, thank you so much for subscribing. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
Glad we could help. Hope we lead you in the right direction. But yeah, we would go Hilliard there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greg Z, Bass. I mean, if you want to go into it a little bit more and talk a little bit more about all these kickers, then go for it. But
no, I don't think that's necessary. Bass is a tier above these guys from a talent perspective. He's just attached to a great offense. They're playing in Tampa today. It's not gonna let's just double check. Florida does get rain. Let's just make sure Tampa Bay weather isn't crappy today, and it's not. 76 degrees, 2% chance of precipitation, 2-mile-per-hour winds. It's going to be hot. The humidity is at 90% down in Tampa today. That's not a concern for the kicker, though.
Income stock investing, yes. Drop either of those guys for Gainwell. But keep going. I just wanted to, yes, do that.
I'm done. Bass is attached to the best offense of this group. Bass is probably the best, just straight up best of this group. Big leg.
Best offense.
The Bucs defense could be good enough to force Josh Allen to stall out one or two times in field goal range. Bass.
Yep. Scott Sharp, what's going on? Full PPR.
What's up, Scott?
Winning them in the playoffs. All right. Need one flex. Austin Hooper, Alan Lazard, Deshaun Jackson. Austin Hooper this week, but is there anybody else out there? Austin Hooper, I don't feel great about it.
But he's like the only dude there.
Yeah.
And
who else is on the wire? Like honestly,
Hooper's a touchdown dependent tight end too with a consolidated target share. You could say the same thing about Lazard because Randall Cobb is out, but Hooper's closer to the top of the pecking order.
Touchdown. He might not get a ton of yards. He's a good bet to get a touchdown this week.
And I know Deshaun, I think, left. This is kind of the story of Deshaun's career as far as being older. It's like all it takes is one play for him to be forced out of a game. He's so volatile. Like I know he popped on Thanksgiving. That was awesome. I can't
do
Hooper.
But who else is on your wire?
If the wire is bare bones, then Hooper.
Yeah.
Hooper.
Sotober, another question. Go for it.
Suck up Crosby or Gay. I mean, Gay is probably Gay has been rock solid this year. There's no concerns about weather in Arizona. There should be points scored in this game. The only concern is, do you think the Cardinals blow the Rams out and then Gay becomes a non-factor as a result? That shouldn't happen. I know the Cardinals are favored. They're in their house. That's good. That's good for Arizona.
I'm playing him with confidence.
Gay has been rock solid this year.
He's been one of the best, most consistent, if not the best, most consistent kicker this season. Attached
to an offense like the Rams.
In a game where they're going to
and the Cardinals,
and
again, to the point, like the Cardinals defense is good enough to force the Rams to stall out eventually if they're able to get into scoring position. So Gay could be set up for a few, couple field goal opportunities. Crosby's looking good in a game that the Packers should win comfortably, but he's been more up and down. And Suckup is again attached to a good offense. He's a good option. But Gay has been the like John said, the of these three, the best, most consistent.
Yep.
Gay.
Thomas, we already got to that one.
Yeah, we
both say Ayuk. Joe Fahey, thanks again for subbing. Stephon Diggs, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, pick 2, the first 2.
Diggs and Godwin.
Yep.
I mean, they're top 5 options. Godwin caught 15 balls last week. Amari Cooper could be back this week, like to full health, to full snap, full complement of snaps, but Diggs and Godwin.
Krabs Teacher, thank you for subbing. Much appreciated. If you're in
that's
here.
awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
And income stock investing. Yeah, if you got
okay.
Henry, so he's on your IR. He's not counting against your active roster or your bench.
Drop Walter for Gainwell. Yeah.
Do that.
It's a bad matchup for Walter today. I'm not expecting too much against a good defense, a good run defense like the Saints.
And use a nerd, the Patriots defense has already been a league winner. They've been a league winner all season.
Well, the playoff
moving forward, they have tough matchups, but
their playoff matchups are difficult, but they have been awesome.
If anybody can overcome the stretch of games that they have in front of them, it's them.
I don't feel great about
give you floor games. I don't think they've gotten you less than 9 points this year. They haven't.
I don't feel great about having to go up against Jonathan Taylor next week.
True.
I don't feel great about that.
But they played Jacksonville in
They
the
played
finals.
Jacksonville championship week, so they're absolutely a hold for sure.
Yeah. They've already been a league winner, and they can be a league winner in the other sense too, if you make it to the fantasy Super Bowl
finals. Whether we're playing them next week is a question for next week, given your other options. But yes, they do have that. They have that upside. They absolutely have that upside.
All right, guys, we have come to the end of the chat, and we have about 30 minutes before kickoff. If you guys have any more questions in here within the next 2 to 5 minutes, throw them in the chat. Or but we might shut down a little bit early today before the game.
Yeah, let's make sure our lineups. Get double, triple, quadruple check your lineups. We could take a couple more questions here.
I know Nick wants to walk his dog before kickoff.
I definitely got to take the dog out before. I don't feel like having him bother me. Right at kickoff. So yeah, good looks.
All right.
There's probably other people that have
what's
to do that
going on? Burkhead splitting carries with Freeman this week versus Seattle. Russell Gage, Dalton Schultz, Judy, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, leaning Burkhead, scraping the bottom of the barrel. I would go Judy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be going to Burkhead. I don't care what format it is. If I'm going to any of those guys, I know Judy hasn't been stellar the last few weeks, but to your point earlier, you talked about just a talent break.
It's a tier break from a talent perspective.
So Judy, and honestly, if I was the next best guy, maybe Dalton Schultz. I'm not a fan of Burkhead in 2021. I'm not a fan of Russell Gage.
Yeah.
Dalton Schultz has been a tight end 1 all season. And
I don't mind Schultz, but I would
weapons back, but no Pollard.
I would go Judy. I would go Judy.
Judy, then Schultz for me.
Yeah. I would go Judy.
Art John, what's going on? Julio Jones or Landry in PPR? I think I'm going Landry.
Landry.
With no Harrison Bryant and no David Njoku, I'm going Landry.
Yeah, Landry. Got returned to practice this week. He missed week 12, right? Then that last week was the bye week. Give me Landry, especially in full PPR. He just feels safer. Julio is a red flag injury risk. Like, that's where we're at.
Yep. Andrew JF, future question, draft strategy, TE in the second round. Nah, not with the amount of tight ends that have popped off in late rounds. I mean,
if you can get
Kelsey, that's about it.
Yes.
That's the only person that I would be looking at.
Well, yeah, in the second round, Kelsey should be available in most second rounds, and I would take him.
And despite him not being the league winner that he has been in past seasons, he's still head and shoulders above the other tight ends.
He's still the head and shoulders. He is the tight end one.
If you can't get your hand, if you can't get your hands on Kelsey in the late second, I'm waiting.
Middle of the second, high second. Kelsey's viable in the second round.
You've seen such variance with tight ends and the standings, and I mean, you can Dawson Knox, Pat Fryermuth. There are a bunch Dalton Schultz. Kyle Pitts is going to be on a discount next year. There are a ton of tight ends, and I think next year is the year to probably wait on tight ends. You can get a lot of guys that are probably going to be a little bit later that will be the rankings are going to be upset. It'll be interesting to see what the rankings are looking like going into next season with how many guys are injured and due to be back, and just how many guys have come out of nowhere to succeed.
I think Kelsey and Kittle are viable high. Waller is still probably viable high. Andrews is still probably viable high. Maybe not Hawkinson. Although let's see what happens with Detroit this offseason. If they're stuck with Jared Goff as a quarterback, then maybe he drops. But I think those top four are still viable. Just locking in your tight end. Locking in your tight end and not worrying about it. But other than that, just punt the position.
But the amount of top tight ends that have come out of nowhere this year to put up tight end 1 points,
which speaks to the volatility of the position.
Makes me next year I'm going to be going into the drafts probably not looking at a tight end high.
Well, okay. I mean, if I can get Kelsey or even Kittle, I would still do that.
Kelsey's the only guy that I'm doing that for.
Okay.
Because he's got the quarterback and the talent. I know Kittle's got the talent and then some, but he doesn't have the quarterback.
Maybe not the quarterback.
And that matters. I mean, that matters. It matters.
Yeah. But we can obviously go over that in the offseason too.
Yeah. But I mean, you're going to be able to get a discount on Hawkinson. Gesicki's going to go somewhere, and you're going to be able to get a relative discount on him. Dalton Schultz is the top five, is the fifth tight end right now in fantasy points.
Well, his ADP is about to go way up.
Dallas Goedert should have a better season next season. There are a ton of tight ends here to make me think you don't have to go all in on if you're going to go all in on Kelsey, who is elite of elite still and has the quarterback. But I think I'm off of some of these other options that you're mentioning, because there are other tight ends that have done just as well as they have this year and could be in position to continue that trend. There's just so many options at tight end for the first time in a long time.
A lot of them are still volatile though, but
well, it's a volatile position. I mean, we've seen
volatility
from Darren Waller.
Which is why I want Kelsey.
We've seen volatility from Waller. We've seen volatility from Kittle, which is why Kelsey's the only guy that I'm considering high. You said that you can still see a couple of these other guys going high, and they probably will go high, but they're not going to be drafted by me because we've seen them get hit with the volatility bug too. There are tight ends like Dalton Schultz and Mike Gesicki who are well ahead of Waller and Kittle, and I know that has to do with injury, but the quarterback situation.
And it's a guessing game at the end of the day. It's still a guessing game as to who works out. You know, it's a guessing game.
Well, yeah. So we've given you a pretty deep dive answer on that.
Yeah.
But there you go. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. What's going on, Tim? Good luck to you, Andrew.
Yeah. Good luck to everybody
else in here. Bing bong. Thank you. Appreciate you. And I hope you make the
playoffs.
As well.
Let's clinch those playoff spots today. What do you say?
And new era TB. I'm going Mike Evans.
Mike Evans or Amari Cooper. Yeah, with no Antonio Brown, the Bills don't have Tre'Davious White. Their secondary is not as scary. And they're playing at home. Give me Mike Evans. Give me Mike Evans. Amari Cooper's just they're both kind of similar, but Evans has been more consistent. Like they both have big game ability in them, but they both could also kind of dud out. But I think Evans is safer.
Yeah.
Evans. And Archib, yeah, you're welcome. We'll start Heineke or Jimmy G. Heineke for the rushing upside.
Yeah, and Jimmy G limited Debo, so he won't have his playmakers all healthy and doesn't have Elijah Mitchell out there running circles around.
Heineke, here's the thing. Heineke doesn't have, he doesn't have J.D. McKissick. He doesn't have Logan Thomas. He never had a wide receiver to begin with. But he's still got Terry. He's got Antonio Gibson, who can catch passes and should catch passes. Ricky Seals-Jones is a fine low-end tight end one, moving forward. And Heineke will run. Heineke will run more than Jimmy G. So yeah, I would say Heineke.
Yep. And I think we're gonna wrap it up here, you guys.
Yeah, I think that just about wraps it up. If anybody's trickling in late, if you've got any comments or if you got any questions, throw them in the chat of this video. We'll try to get to it before kickoff. But let's give some people some time to breathe, collect yourselves, maybe go pour yourself a screwdriver or some type of morning cocktail, and let's get ready for a big week of football.
Yes, sir. Good luck, everybody.
Yep. Good luck, everybody. Let's clinch those playoff spots. Hopefully we'll see y'all Tuesday, and we're figuring out what to do for the first round of the playoffs or the second round. But yeah, let's get those wins, guys. Happy Sunday.
Yo, I do, Andrew. You already know. But peace.
You already know.
Peace, y'all.